automobiles. But by the way, don't worry about it, Mary. They'll screw it up. It won't take them long to screw it up. But we're not going to let that happen. Our great, big, beautiful bill gave us no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, right? That's our big deal. And the overtime you're working, and I don't know much, but I know you're making a lot of cars, more than you've ever made before. I assume, are they getting a little overtime, Aaron? She doesn't want to say. She is. I know you are. No tax on that overtime. Think of the no tax on tips in Nevada. I went and a young lady came over, a beautiful waitress. She was a waitress and very beautiful, but I'm not allowed to say that politically. Because if you call somebody beautiful, that's usually the end of your political career. But she happened to be beautiful. And I say, what's going on? Oh, sir, I'm getting killed with tips. Sir, there should be no tax on tips. I say, what? I'm sitting down with a group of people, very boring group, we're all bored, at my hotel in Las Vegas, and she comes up and she says, sir, there should be no tax on tips. I say it one more time. And I went outside, and I spoke to the fake news that follow me all over the world, looking for me to make one little mistake. If I make one little mistake, if I mispronounce a word, which doesn't happen often, if I fell, oh, they're waiting. They would love to. Because I knock, you can't fall every single time you come up on a day, it's like Biden did. Oh, if I slipped even a little bit, there would be headlines all over the world. So I'm very careful, very judicious as I walk down the airline, you're way the hell up in the sky. Go nice and slowly. We don't want to give them, but it's true. It's like what they do. I mean, it's so unfair. But they know how well we're doing, and now they're starting to report it because they have no choice. Because every record that's being broken, all these records that are coming out, not only in your business, we're leading in AI. We're beating China in AI. Nobody expected that. We're building more plants than anybody in the world. And frankly, the businesses are all moving. Many of these businesses, they left here and they went to foreign countries. They went to Germany. They went to Mexico and Canada. They went to Japan, they went to South Korea, car businesses, a lot of business.
Follow the money, you put it together, it's business, it's human nature. Some of these doctors believed it. Maybe you want to try some of this OxyContin. And that's how we end up killing 100,000 people a year.
Last week, the great big beautiful bill saved more than 170,000 Michigan jobs. You saw that. Think of if you took 170,000 people off of your tax-paying payrolls, think of how many people that is, filling a big stadium up 3 times. But remember, every single Democrat, it's a new word that I use, Democrat, they just exchange the E for the U. It works out quite nicely, thank you. But they're Democrats. They want open borders. They want men playing in women's sports. They want transgender mutilization of your children. They want the transgender mutilization of your children for everyone. So I call them Democrats. And the Democrats don't want to have voter ID. And the Democrats do not, Brian, you know this, they don't want to have a thing called proof of citizenship. So why doesn't somebody want voter ID or proof of citizenship? Because they want to cheat, okay? There's only one reason. Actually, most Democrats do want it. It's only the politicians, because they can never get elected. If that ever gets approved, they will never get elected again. But every single Democrat in Congress voted against our massive tax cuts for working families. All of the things, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, all of these things they voted against. They just voted against. They voted against voter ID. They voted in favor of the transgender mutilization of your children, in favor of men playing in women's sports. I've looked at men playing in women's sports. It's very unfair. I had one of the top NFL football players standing next to a wonderful female athlete, and they were playing a game of football. If you can believe this whole thing, this game did not work out very well. This was not a game that she will ever want to play again, I will tell you. The whole thing is crazy. There's something wrong. These people are crazy, and we can't let them get into office and ruin our country. We can't do it. And the congressional Democrats voting for tax hikes, they're voting for open borders. The Green New Scam are their side. Remember the Green New Scam? Everything had to be green, green. The world is going to collapse. It's going to be gone. 15 years ago, they were saying we only had 12 years left, but we're still here. But they're siding with the radical left communists, taking over the party. They want, in other words, the normal socialists who destroy a country. They're not going to touch them. Do you remember, like in one of my State of the Union speeches, I said, we will never be a socialist country. But I was right. We're going to be a communist country. That's what they want. They skipped socialism. Can you believe it? But communism is the greatest threat to our country in history, including even World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, or 9/11. I mean, this is a serious threat because they're going to promise all sorts of things. In 1 year, the country will be absolutely bankrupt. You'll live in squalor. You'll live in fear. You won't have police. You won't have firemen. You won't have anybody. You're going to be, it's a disaster. Even the thought of it is a disaster. And we have the hottest country in the world. We don't want to have it, and we have to be strong about it. We can't be nice. You know, a lot of the Republicans are nice. We're a very nice party. We shouldn't be so nice, to be honest with you. But we can't let them get their claws into this incredible, they call it an experiment. I don't think it's any longer an experiment. This has been going on for a long time. We have good years, bad years. We're having the single greatest year we've ever had as a country. We're not going to let these people destroy it. And you know the other thing, I'm just thinking now, you know, I do a lot of these speeches and I end up reading about 20%. Isn't it nice to know that you have somebody that doesn't have to read a speech? And it's even better to know that you have somebody that can read a speech if he wants to. The other guy couldn't even read a speech. But I'm just thinking about it. This is maybe going to make news because I've never said it. I'm just thinking about now. When they take something over, it's always dirty. The sidewalks are dirty. The people are, I hate to say this, not clean, okay? The curbs are loaded with you know what? The smell is terrible. I mean, I see it happening to cities. Blue cities are all blue. They're all blue. We don't have problems with the Republican-run cities, I mean, for the most part. But they're dirty. I said to somebody about a certain city, I don't want to say the name of it, but it's run by the radical left. I said, how is it doing? Because I love it. And they said, it's filthy dirty. It's so dirty, they've never seen it like that. It's so filthy dirty. And I just thought of it. Nobody ever says that. You know, I'm sort of a clean freak. I like clean. You ever see Washington, D.C.? You see Washington? What happened? Washington, D.C., it was filthy. Graffiti all over the place. We fixed up 72 monuments and fountains, and we've done an unbelievable, we took the graffiti off the beautiful marble columns. We have new grass going down. But you know what we did the best? We stopped crime in Washington. It's down 88%. And we moved.
This is the reason why Homo sapiens taken over the planet. The interesting part about this is that we are the only species that is as plastic as we are. So, you know, you see a zebra get born, and in 45 minutes it's running around, or a dolphin is swimming after a few minutes. But if you see a Homo sapien get born, they're not doing it as quickly. And the reason is Mother Nature essentially came up with a different trick with us, where she drops us into the world half-baked, and we absorb the world around us, our language, our culture. We take everything that's happened before us and we springboard off the top of that. We are living different lives every time. So that's what brain plasticity is about.
The reaction to your course has been very positive, so we're thrilled about that.
Materia, Doug Burkham, and the whole group, we have done some, we've taken graffiti-filled statues all over the city, and monuments, and waterfalls, everything, the beautiful reflecting pond where we get, I mean, we did some job, somebody comes along and starts cutting it with a knife, they're sick. It's in the hospital now, but it's going to get better very soon. It's almost ready to open. We could have kept it that way for a while, but I didn't want to do that. I want to have it fixed perfectly, but these people are very terrible. But think how beautiful Washington, D.C. is, but the most important thing is we have very little crime. And there's a statistic that's incredible. 2% of the people create 91% of the crime. Because you can handle 2% of the people. We get them out. We get them out. And our military, our National Guard has been unbelievable. And they work with the DC police. But they've been unbelievable. So I just want to thank them. But Washington, DC is now, again, and it's going to get only better. It's going to get all new grass. The parks are getting all new grass. They have a man who's a fantastic man, one of the biggest grass growers. I know everybody. I know grass growers, but he's actually a very rich guy. He wants to fix up the parks, all brand new grass. We're going to do our job. He donated the grass for the White House. We're building a heliport, and we're building a drone port, and we're building a great ballroom and a military facility as part of it. And it's incredible, and people cannot believe how it looks. Washington, D.C., think of it, is now a really safe city, and it's so beautiful again, and people are proud of it. It's our capital. They have to be proud of it. It was a crime-ridden mess. And the other thing, I got a call from the governor of Louisiana, and he said, "Sir, we have Mardi Gras coming up in New Orleans. Could you please help us? We are such a disaster. The crime is so bad." And they've had a lot of problems with crime. And I sent our team in there and called me back. He said, crime is down almost 80%. Think of that, almost 80%. This was 8 months ago. And they had the safest Mardi Gras they've ever had. And in Memphis, Tennessee, the governor called, and the mayor called, the Democrat mayor called that they need help. And Memphis was very, very dangerous. Companies were leaving. Too much danger. It was really dangerous. You couldn't walk down the street. And now crime there is down 77%, and it's getting better all the time. And if they do that in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, we would take care of it so quickly. But we have to get called. I want them to call us. I don't want to say, I don't want to. They're running it. I want them to call us, and we will get rid of the crime so quickly your head will spin. But we're pleased to be joined today by some of the incredible patriots fighting for our Michigan workers, including representatives, a friend of mine, she's unbelievable, Lisa McLean. Stand up, Lisa. Great. She's great. She is great. And she's tough, too, I want to tell you. I'm not going to say she comes in a small body, but she comes with one house. She comes with fire and brimstone, right, Lisa? And we love Lisa, respected by everybody. Tim Wahlberg. Tim, great. 18 years he's been doing it, and everybody respects you a lot. Thank you, Tim, very much. Appreciate it. Another congressman is doing really, really good. He's going to have a tough race. You got to help him. Tom Barrett. He's here someplace. Where's Tom? Tom? Come on up, you three. Would you come up? Lisa, come on up. And John James, come up. You have to win, John James. You have to win. I also want to thank Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, Michigan House Speaker Matt Hall, Army National Guard Captain Mike Bouchard. Where's your father, Mike? Where's your father? Where's Mike? I just met your father. He's the best looking police. Where's Mike? You want to come up? Come up here. Come here. Your father's so proud of you. He's standing and he had more medals than anybody I've ever seen. He's saying, "My son is doing good, sir." I said, "He is doing good." Navy veteran, Amir Hassan. He's a congressional candidate. We got to get elected. He's good. Thank you, Amir. And Amir comes from a great General Motors family, a long line of General Motors, and former congressman. So here's a man who's running for the Senate. I happen to think he won last time, okay? He's a great guy, and he's respected all over Washington. He's one of the best candidates we have anywhere. He's smart, he's tough, he's fair. His name is Mike Rogers, and he...
Hey, we need to talk.
When you're driving, we're watching. You see, when...
Let a couple of them say a couple of words. I'll be right back. Is that okay? Come on up here, Mike.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thanks for embracing your presence here at the General Motors facility and bringing jobs back. Yeah, you bet. Imagine if, Mr. President, you have a senator that cares about much about manufacturing, especially in Michigan, than you do. That's a change we absolutely need. And when I get back there, Mr. President, I promise you this. I will work with you to protect our families, protect our freedoms, protect our factories, protect our finances. And when I get back there, Mr. President, if you haven't gotten it done, we're going to pass the SAVE Act. Save America. God bless you.
Well, again, thank you, Mr. President, for coming back to Michigan, where you've won 3 times. We very much appreciate your leadership. And as governor of the state of Michigan, we're going to be managing those Trump accounts. We're going to be taking care of our children. We're going to be matching those. You know, we have a president who keeps his promises. We have a president who looked at a situation and he said, you're going to have very fast planes in Macomb County. You know what he did? In the very first 100 days, the president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump, delivered F-15EX to Self-Carry National Guard Base. The president has always been looking out for Michigan jobs. The status quo doesn't work for Michigan. The President Trump is pushing back. And as a result, President Trump signed my bill to protect our automotive industry against the harmful California EV mandates. And as a result, our jobs are coming back to Michigan. But most importantly, the president, because he's the best deal maker the planet has ever known, President Donald Trump, has got $19 trillion of investment back in the United States of America. But because of the failed policies of Gretchen Whitmer, a lot of that investment is not coming back here. We're working with you, Mr. President. We're going to make sure that we have an environment where we can bring that investment back to the state of Michigan to create jobs right here for the best auto workers in the world. Thank you so much for your leadership, Mr. President. God bless you. We have your back.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for coming back to Michigan. And thank you for putting our men and women who build things first and foremost in the American economy. Thank you for being here today with the men and women that I have the privilege of representing in Congress to tell them and show them just how important Michigan is on the map. The hard work of the people here put America on wheels, puts our economy on overdrive, and provides livelihoods for families across our country, especially right here in Michigan. Manufacturing is our largest industry. Our president understands that. He's stepping up every single day to make sure that we bring more manufacturing jobs back to America, back here to Michigan, and I'm proud to stand with you today, sir, in recognition of that, and thank you so much for coming to Michigan again today.
Talk about the American dream. Born and raised in Flint, Michigan, the birthplace of General Motors. Son of a father, a grandfather, a grandmother, an aunt, an uncle that all work for General Motors. Son of an educator. Protecting America, getting back to the fundamentals and the foundation that made us great in the beginning. That's what we're doing this cycle. The contrast is clear, the time is now. If you love America, make noise. If you believe in first responders, make some noise. If you back our military, make some noise. And if you're proud to be a conservative,
USA, let's go, baby. We are putting this country back on the map because we have a leader who stands up for us. Mr. President, thank you for coming to Michigan, but I also have to say thank you for defending our military and putting us in a position to succeed. This time last year, I was in Iraq. During the 12-day war, you put our military in a position to succeed because you gave the troops what we needed to survive. So my friends at our home, sir, because you put us first. You put Michigan first as well. It took 47 years to stand up and say lunatics can't have nuclear weapons. It also took decades to reshore jobs. Reshoring jobs wasn't a thing that we talked about before President Trump came back. Now jobs are coming back to Michigan because we have leaders to stand up for us. We need to win this election in November so we can keep growing. Thank you, Mr. President. Let's go, Michigan.
I didn't bring my box, so I apologize. But take a moment and look around. Look at how many people are filling this manufacturing facility. And why is that? That is because we love this country. And I'm going to share with you, if you love this country, you have got to get out there and make some noise. You have got to get out there and vote. You have got to get out there and tell your...
I was born with a congenital dental birth defect. Insurance wouldn't cover the treatment.
CNN's data guru is warning that it is very possible Democrats will lose this midterm, which is crazy considering the historic trend is the opposition party to the presidency wins in the midterms. The Democrats, they're not doing too well. Despite the fact prediction markets still believe Democrats are going to win, their polling margins are microscopic. And here's where it gets massive. The chair of the Democratic National Committee reportedly smashed a phone in rage as they had to put up their own headquarters as collateral to secure a loan because they need money desperately. The news is the DNC has a few $1 million to their name, but they have way more debt. Meanwhile, the Republicans have $100 to $200 million of cash on hand. When you zoom out to the bigger picture, looking at the Democrat machine versus the Republican machine, things are a little different. There's different Democrat, Senate, and congressional campaign committees, same as the Republicans, as well as PACs.
About being on all these TV shows and being invited to Jake Tapper's house and Dana Bash and getting, he was getting soliciting and receiving, sometimes soliciting, sometimes they just gave it to him, professional and star advice from all these people. Ari Emanuel, Rahm Emanuel's brother, the other doctor, who's also crazy. Oh wait, no, Ari Emanuel is the producer, I think. Zeke Emanuel is the doctor. Yeah, Ari is Ari Gold from Entourage, essentially. Ari Emanuel is called Fauci and said, hey, you gotta make all sorts of money, this is what you do, I'm coming by. So, and Fauci lapped it up. He liked every bit of it. Every bit of it. And we also know that he was just you know, kind of guessing when it kind of came to a lot of this stuff. One of the things that I thought was interesting was he did an interview. Fauci did an interview in 2019 saying he'd love to be part of battling the next big pandemic. He'd love to be. This guy, there's no TV show or interview this guy ever shied away from. So 2019, he wants to be battling a pandemic in our health sector. Didn't think to build up our stockpiles of all PPE before that. So we were going to go to this next war unarmed, which is what we did, of course, because nobody was ready, because these guys are psychos. Francis Collins, Fauci, Nirav Shah, all of them, A to Z. These people get paid a whole ton of money to give TED Talks, to give other talks, that pay a lot, to have exposés written about them, to get feted, and to be on TV. And that's their main thing. Anything else is secondary. And I am, you know, it's funny, Graham, I did a video today. It shows, and Graham tacked on some video of Fauci throwing out a first pitch at a Nationals game or something, and it's a horrific sight. It's a terrible pitch.
Terrible pitch.
Yeah, you just don't do that. It would have been better had it just fallen out of his hand at the mound. It was terrible. But it just went to show, as far as I'm concerned, this guy is just a total and utter fraud. And he's a child. I mean, what an immature person. Oh, I got to meet Eddie Vedder today. What the? You're 87. He's bragging about meeting Eddie Vedder. He said, I haven't been so excited since I met Bono, who's also 30 years older than pathetic.
Tom, do you have or have you ever had a diary before?
I have not had a diary, no.
Maybe I had one when I was like 6 or 7, but that was my takeaway, is what 85-year-old guy has a diary? Of all things to come out on this guy, I did not expect it to be Dr. Fauci's diary. I mean, in between, running the pandemic response time and going on 45 interviews a day and, gaggling it up with the ladies of The View, this guy had time to write a diary with his deepest, darkest personal thoughts on there. And that's concerning to me.
Graham, I think that there's a place for him to have a diary. If he's like thinking, okay, we're entering a historic time now, I need to document everything of every day.
You thought this was a memoir. You thought this was he's going to look back at this after he saved the world and have his memoir notes ready to go.
Memoir, certainly, or for save it for history. For the National Archives, so that we'll have a TikTok, a timeline of exactly where the leadership against this COVID, what it was thinking and what it was doing. And instead, it was all Teen Vogue hits that he was doing. And it was like amazing. So that's what he spent his time on. Instead of instead of doing a careful diary that you might do, so that whoever's dealing with the next pandemic might see some of this stuff. This was just an autobiography of his TV hits. And he's gushing. Like, he is so excited in so many of these that, like, Chuck Todd called me and he said that I shouldn't go on with Tucker anymore and I should be very careful and I shouldn't let them talk bad about me. Funny thing is that you could hear the way, during the pandemic, you could hear the way that he would say names. You could tell that he was emotionally bound. Jake, Dana, you see, the way he would say it. Even Chuck Todd as well. And these people, and we've got this, something from Gravy in here, which is a supercut of a lot of these media types absolutely filleting this guy. Let's play that with you, Ken, Matt.
The single most respected voice in the pandemic is Dr. Anthony Fauci.
The man who's become known as America's doctor.
The nation's top infectious disease expert, Anthony Fauci.
You are seen to many as a superhero.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, American hero and New York Yankee fan.
You've done so much for this country in terms of this crisis, so I really appreciate your insight.
Who better to give us answers that we can trust than Dr. Anthony Fauci?
The perfect person to answer our questions today. Joining us now, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, appreciate your candor. Dr. Fauci, appreciate the candor.
We appreciate your service to this country.
We appreciate your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Greatly appreciate your service to America.
Thank you for your 37 years of service, I believe, to 7 presidents, and thank you for your work over the past year.
The great news is you're sticking around in the Biden administration. We are so grateful to you, Dr. Fauci, for everything you do.
Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you very much for everything that you do.
Thanks so much for the work that you do.
Thank you very much for the reassurance and, as always, for all of your public service. Thank you, Dr. Fauci.
Thank you for all your guidance this past year, and it's greatly appreciated.
Dr. Fauci, on behalf of all of our viewers here in the U.S. and around the world, thanks very much for doing what you're doing. Thanks very much for joining us. Please thank your entire team as well. We are all grateful.
Get your rest because we need you.
You are one of the busiest scientists in the country right now. It is an honor to have some of your time to help us understand what is going on. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions, so we appreciate your time, sir.
We need people to continue to have faith in science. So thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you for being straight with us. Thank you for being able to come on. You will always have this show as a platform.
Sir, whenever you can be here, we'll have you. It's always an honor to have time with you. Thanks for being here.
Good enough for you, sir. It's good enough for me and my family. So thank you, Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, thank you for keeping it straight.
So there's 2 parts. So the point is, and I was noting this during COVID, and I'm sure you were too, is that none of these guys ever, cross-examined Fauci about anything he ever said. Ever. It was always tell us what. Are we going to be able to do Christmas? Okay. Are we going to be able to do Thanksgiving? Okay. Is one mask sufficient or two masks be okay? They never push back against a effing thing. These guys, everybody in the media there, especially Jake Tapper, because he pretends to be the most sober. Tapper's been in on every single scandal in the last 10 years. He really has. The Russia thing, the Biden stuff, the Fauci stuff. He was in the ground floor of all this stuff. And Tom Elliott did a search, a word search, just to look how many times he couldn't shut up in his journal, in his diary, about certain things, including certain words. So Tom Elliott does this word search. The word award came up 80 times. So you knew all the awards he was getting. Many of them paid $1 million. The word hero came up 49 times. Instagram 36 times.
It's
Bobblehead 23 times. Selfie 19 times. And entries headed with press 641. This guy could not stop bragging about his press hits and how these people were making him very famous, and all the really Barbara Streisand called him. And you know what? This might seem like a tangent, but since he was answering every famous person's phone call, I don't doubt that a bunch of progressives said. I wouldn't doubt that Gavin Newsom called them up and said, "Hey, Tony, we've closed down California, but my friend's turning 50, and we'd love to get wasted at the French Laundry. You think that would be something?" And he said, "Oh, sure. Don't worry about it." So, what an effing dirtbag. I think that this pay-for-play stuff, hopefully that's actionable. And that's the most, he's obviously a sniveling, lying, disgusting, self-absorbed creep. If you saw pictures of his office, there's Fauci pictures everywhere. He is that. And then there's the transactional stuff that he did that, in my estimate, makes him a crook. And then, of course, there's the destroying the country for a year, knowingly making kids get the jab when they never needed to. I don't know. There's three big damning aspects, I think, of this thing. Steve, your thoughts? What's sending this guy to hell?
Well, first of all, I don't think that he was just in charge of responding to pandemics. I think that he was running biological weapons research. That's pretty clear, and that's why he was protected to the extent that he was. He was running the offensive biological weapons program that was just outsourced to the Wuhan Institute of Virology for all these bioweapons in the Ukraine, and I think that's why. That has colored everything that we know about the pandemic response, the war in Ukraine, relations with China. It's that the United States government, with Dr. Fauci there, was doing biological weapons research. And the reason why that's particularly obnoxious is because biological weapons can be designed to target people based on their biology. Like, for example, designing a weapon to target just one race. That's why the Chinese are interested in biological weapons research. And for the longest time, the idea that there were biolabs in Ukraine and that was fueling this absurd bipartisan desire to go fight and die in Ukraine was relegated to fringe Twitter accounts. I remember I think there's a Twitter account, it's like War Clandestine or something like that, that was laying out some really good information that has panned out 100% about research facilities in Ukraine that a lot of prominent American political families just so happen to be invested in. And now we know it's all true. Tulsi Gabbard, on her way out the office, helps declassify the files to show that that's all true. So one, he's not just this nerd scientist, medical professional who happened to become self-absorbed during the pandemic. He's right there in the pantheon of deep state assholes with John Brennan, James Clapper, Jim Comey. He's right up there with all those people. And two, I'll notice in that montage of media hits of all of the various mainstream media people just gargling his balls, I didn't see Big Cat or the guy with sunglasses that's his sidekick on Pardon My Take. Because I remember I was
going to say that.
I was working at Barstool Sports, and I remember Big Cat just both gargle, he had both hands there, just polishing Anthony Fauci. I mean, this is a guy who has interviewed, like every super sports star you can imagine. He's mega famous, but he gets this like weird deep state bureaucrat in, and is all of a sudden starstruck. I mean, it was disgusting in hindsight what the Barstool's Pardon My Take podcast did for Anthony Fauci. But in terms of burning in hell, it's got to be the Beagles. I'm a dog guy. You can't murder that many beagles in the name of scientific research and expect to get into heaven. And as a side note, Lauren LePage has actually adopted one of those beagles. She saved one of Fauci's beagles from what I'm sure would be, a torturous and agonizing death. And the last thing I'll say is, what does he have on the other side of his resume? Because we know he has AIDS, and I don't mean curing AIDS like Magic Johnson did. I mean AIDS is in exacerbating the problem and downplaying cures and making the crisis worse than it had to be, sensationalizing it for his own financial gain. And he has this COVID catastrophe, which again he funded and abetted and encouraged gain-of-function research, lied about it, convinced other people to lie about it, engaged in conspiracy at the highest level. Like, what has he done that's good?
Not baseball, that's for sure. We know that.
Yeah, the worst. I mean, he certainly has produced plenty of viral videos and spit takes. But like, what? Everyone is praising him like he cured cancer. But like, what within his domain? If you accept that he's just a scientist and he runs a big organization of scientists, they all want to do good things, and Anthony Fauci wants to do good things. What specific thing did he do that improved the health of anyone?
Well, he was the longest serving bureaucrat, or the highest paid bureaucrat at least in the entire government, right? So if he's good at one thing, it's manipulating the behind the scenes bureaucracy, politics, and wielding his power and getting people to shut up. He's kind of like Troy Jackson of the scientific world in a way, if you want to put it that way. But I remember that part of my Take interview, Steve. I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you brought that up. That was an unbelievable interview. They were like, "Oh, Dr. Fauci, I heard you run 7 miles a day," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been running my whole life," and just stuff like that, just embarrassing. And like, what happened is you got a guy who had been making money and known in some circles who just gets thrust into the national spotlight overnight, and obviously all the fame went to his head, and he thought that he was invincible, and the narcissistic ego he had just got turbocharged to the next level. How many times do these networks that are pushing these narratives, CNN, MSNBC, how many times do they have to be dead wrong? Not just a little wrong, but completely flat, the exact opposite of reality wrong, before some of these like coastal liberals in Maine and across the country wake up and say, yeah, this TV station I watch has been wrong about basically every single thing for the last 5 years. Maybe they're also wrong about like XXXXX, and I'm still listening to them today. Because it seems like nobody has really made that connection. It's like, yeah, they've been wrong about everything, but we're still going to believe everything they report when it comes to Trump or, Troy Jackson or Graham Plattner or anything down that line.
I don't even think they know that they're wrong. Like, look at Dr. Shaw. He had all of the exact same opinions that Fauci did. He was Maine's version of Fauci, and he got the most votes in the gubernatorial primary. I don't think that they will ever stop watching news sources that tell them that they're good people and that they're smart. Like, they're not watching MSNBC or CNN to learn about, an investigation into political corruption or learn about the news. They're watching those shows to be reaffirmed in their smugness. Like, they want to know that they're right to look down on Trump voters and to, be smug and condescending towards people who have different political views. And it's the same on the right as well. There's an element of Fox News that is, reaffirming people's opinions. There's an element of talk radio that is reaffirming people's opinions. So I think that their memory will be very, very limited when it comes to changing their news sources, because CNN has been wrong over and over and over again. But also, they don't even know that CNN was wrong about the Russia stuff. Like, I bet if you polled liberals right now and said, do you think that Russia helped Trump win the election? Did they hack the election in 2016? A majority of liberals would say yes. I mean, Angus King, I think his quote was that Russian hacking was an arrow to the heart of democracy. And then in 2018, when he was running for re-election, he compared the 2016 election to Pearl Harbor.
I had to go produce a little piece of paper saying I got a vaccine to go to a bar to get a drink 4 years ago. And then now everyone that supported that is out there on the corner of the street talking about authoritarianism and peace and all that.
Yes.
Where is that disconnect?
Yes, that was an arrow to the heart of your drinking.
Oh yeah, and all that crap was arbitrary, jumping through hoops. It was totally, you're right, Steve, it was performative functions of the elites. Saying now we're wearing masks, not only Steve, we're wearing masks because we're educated so we're wearing masks. I had a bunch of people go to my town meeting, including a guy his daughter was friends with my daughter. These are the people forcing all the girls to wear masks outside during softball when this happened. And I remember him saying, by the way, I am a Harvard-educated biochemist, and I can tell you for a matter of fact that these masks are very effective in stopping the slowing the spread of COVID. He used his freaking credentials, and him and like 7 other people who are all Ivy Leaguers had T-shirts made up, like, mask up. And it was like, it was all just because the Trump people don't wear masks and look like they drive Harleys and have pickup trucks. We're better. We wear masks to show that we are better than that. And the same year, the people who wore masks decided also they'd take a knee and do a fist up thing for George Floyd. They said, see, we're better. It's on my Instagram, how much better I am. And then the shows you where it's really dirty, and this is Graham, I think you let the media off easy, is it wasn't just like, I'm wearing a mask because I'm better. You're not wearing one, so you're trying to kill us. Right.
Yes, you're a murderer.
Yeah.
You're a bad person.
You're a murderer.
And the pandemic of the unvaccinated. It's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. It's your fault.
Yeah, the unvaccinated are in for a long winter of death, I think, the statement that the Biden White House put out. And also, while we're dumping on people, we can also give credit where credit's due. Massachusetts' own Turtle Boy, Aidan Kearney, most famous recently for the Karen Reed trial. I remember him on social media, maybe like a month after 2 weeks to the close, how he was just raging about how foolish this all was. And he was like, if anybody can show me a positive COVID test, I will let you spit in my mouth. I very distinctly remember him tweeting that. And you know what? He was right. He was absolutely right.
Yeah, but it's that kind of pushing against the establishment, that makes Turtle Boy the only person around Karen Reed who has to do jail time for some reason. It's like, okay, so this guy's the bad guy in this whole thing. I'm pretty sure Karen Reed wasn't at that party where everybody was blacked out and people were dying. But man, the retribution was crazy. I'm interviewing Jeffrey Tucker today, who was he was part of, what was the letter called again? The proclamation.
Great Barrington Declaration.
I'm talking to him in 1 hour, and I can't get the damn name into my head. Anyway, so he's part of that, where people came together and said, no, there's a problem here with what we're doing. There's a problem here with what's being pushed as the truth here. And he tried to destroy them all. Fauci tried to destroy them all. And there's already been records of that. We have the SoundSys people, him and Francis Collins, who's a psycho, who did the Puff the Magic COVID song with his wife swimming across the TV. These people are insane, certainly pernicious, certainly malevolent, and who would ever, and they're telling me that I should be worried because RFK Jr.'s coming to town? fuck you.
Right? Exactly. Oh, aren't you a little worried about him? He caught a snake once. You know, he
has done it a yak.
Yeah, he saved the penis bone out of a raccoon. That's wacky. It's like, well, you know, a bunch of people didn't die because of you know, the raccoon penis bone that he had. I actually made the argument when the former Jean Lambro, the former Department of Health and Human Services commissioner, resigned from the Mills administration. I made the argument that she probably is responsible for more deaths than COVID, because COVID in Maine killed less than 5,000 people. Under the, and this is not died of COVID, this is died while testing positive for COVID.
Yes.
And I think for the under 20 or under 30 cases was like 4. And who knows the details of those? It was probably like somebody died of a fentanyl overdose while testing positive for COVID. But if you look at the rates of suicidality and the rates of alcoholism and the rates of drug addiction, they just skyrocketed. Not just all deaths of despair, totally skyrocketed. And I'm willing to bet that the number of people who died from the ancillary effects of the lockdowns, the social isolation, school closures, the whole cost across the board of that policy was far more severe than the actual deaths caused, you know, the deaths of people who died while testing positive for COVID, and even whatever the deaths would have been without a lockdown policy. If you compare it to other states, you know, that or other countries that didn't have as draconian a lockdown, that's borne out. But yeah, Fauci is literally, he's a demon, and there has to be like a place below hell that's even worse, because when Fauci gets to hell, the devil's going to be like, no, this isn't good enough for you, pal.
And what happened?
April 18, 2021, David Axelrod sent me a text saying that his wife Susan said I look 10 years younger since the change of administration. I received a text from Dana Bash pointing out that Vanity Fair recently had a headline that said Jim Jordan trips over his own asshole trying to debate Anthony Fauci. Then he has a punch list of what he's going to do for press this weekend. Press. ABC This Week with Martha Raddatz. Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. CNN State of the Union with Dana Bash. MSNBC Sunday Show with Jonathan Capehart. But guy is always, and remember, I don't know to what extent that you got banned, but like my own podcast stuff got banned at the time and taken down a bunch of YouTube stuff. These people, the hunting was relentless. They destroyed careers. They really went after people and, you know, got people to be, you know, they made people broke. And then for the middle of this effing thing to say, for Fauci to say that racism is a public health crisis, you should get out there because somebody had an overdose in Minnesota, was effing unbelievable.
You know, it was the same exact, one of my problems with COVID is that it empowered the worst people. Like the people who were already bad and wanted you know, some pretext to boss other people around, primarily liberals and Karens. It gave them this moral veneer to tell other people what to do, whether it was, you know, it's social distancing at grocery stores or putting a mask on, or, you know, you can't come in here unless you got the shot. Whatever it is, it empowered the worst people, and Maine was like the case one of this. The very same people who are like, you know, making their no king signs right now, or maybe they're turning Shaw signs that they turned into no king signs into Jackson signs as we speak. Like Andy O'Brien, for example, they became the COVID enforcers. And I know, based on sources who've communicated with us, that they kept dossiers on people who they believed were not obedient enough to the COVID guidelines, to the point where they had names, addresses, phone numbers, and even social security numbers for people who weren't properly genuflecting to the COVID regime. So they were ready to hunt you down and ruin your life or report you to the COVID police if you didn't, you know, in their view, obey whatever made-up rules were changing, you know, all the time. And when we lived, Tom, you and I lived in Massachusetts when this was happening. Maine was way worse, a billion times worse. Massachusetts was like Texas compared to Maine. I know early on, this was maybe 6 or 7 months into the pandemic, it had been long enough so that these grandparents hadn't seen their grandkids. So mom and dad set up a table in the front yard. The kids sat at the table and wore masks, and the grandparents drove an hour up to go see them. And they were just going to pull up on alongside the road, roll down the window in the car, and just say, "Hey kids, Grammy and Grandby are here. It's nice to see you." They did that, and someone who lived on their street called the Stadies on them. The state troopers showed up, and we're like, "All right, move it along, guys, move it along. There's going to be some transmission here. The virus is, the Wuhan bat plague is going to jump out of the vehicle and land on those kids, and then it'll be the end of the world because somebody gets a runny nose for 2 days." Like the police state was on absolute steroids. And also, the last time the newspapers in this state actually did investigative journalism, there at the 1 or 2 months into COVID, there was a small wedding in northern Maine, and someone was sick. Other people at the wedding got sick, and it was like the movie Contagion. It was like the CSI. They spun up their war room. They actually learned how to do investigative reporting, and they had maps tracing who could possibly have it. They were working the phone lines. They did more effort on that story trying to prove that these conservative yokels getting married were going to get people killed because of their wedding than they've done on any story that I've seen them publish in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and hey, John Featherston, we've been talking about Fauci here. Some of the things that were unbelievable is that all.
I do highlight that just because.
John, we need your volume up a little bit.
Massive detriment to Republicans. A lot of people have come out saying they regret supporting Trump. What's this? The American people still.
No, I would say that ditch the AirPods, John. The AirPods never do anything good for you.
I look at all of.
I was just saying that.
This is CNN. I'm not pulling up some right-wing source.
Like in my town, most, I cannot hear you now. Most, I have a town with only 4,000 people. There's nobody here, okay? But they police taped the playground anyway, so the kids couldn't come to the playground. It's just it was so arbitrary. There's no science. They didn't know what to do, and that's the problem. And I understand if they didn't know what to do because they didn't know what the strain was, and so they were taken by surprise. But if they don't know what to do, don't make arbitrary rules for everybody that's going to take the people who are getting picked off by this thing and make them harmed in so many other different ways. It's so freaking, so terrible. And did I already ask you, Graham, about the stockpiles? Did we talk about that?
It's 4 times
We did, right at the beginning. Okay. I was just saying, Steve, that Fauci was yearning, he said, for a big event so that he could lead a cause, in 2019. And Joe Love and anybody else made sure that our stockpiles had
personal protective equipment, PPE.
PPE, I forgot. Yeah.
That was another one of my favorite parts of the pandemic was when everyone learned the terminology and had to be the first to tell you about community spread or PPE or N95s. Everyone was collectively learning together about these things. Everyone was a pandemic expert.
Oh yes, or social distance.
Yes.
And then they acted. What do you mean you don't know what social distance? It came overnight, like Juneteenth. Where suddenly you didn't know about Juneteenth. I've always celebrated Juneteenth. Everybody has. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the picture of the new governor of Virginia? When she's her COVID gear. So, Matt, see if you can look up that. It's Abigail Spanberger or something. But the equipment that she put on to go sit in the legislature, it's like something out of a bad science fiction movie. It's so ridiculous. This person is so obviously insane. The fact that she's now governor of Virginia is an indictment of democracy.
So from overseas.
Oh, how about the Joint Chiefs? The guy who was in charge of the Joint Chiefs, not Milley, the other guy who had the big full windshield, face guard on.
Yeah, General Austin. Yeah, dressed up like Darth Vader. And then
just got surgery and didn't tell anybody, and the country didn't have a Secretary of War for a week.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that was the story.
it turns out that Lloyd Austin he needed some extra protection because he had like 16 different cancers that he never told anybody about.
Yeah.
He might have actually been wrong. There we go. That's the governor of Virginia.
Oh my God.
Well, guys, nobody alive just likes to talk about it more than I do. Just don't forget, I was the chairman of the Board of Health during COVID, and I got a phone call from the CDC and said that I was being irresponsible because I was telling people to look at data. And I got a nasty letter from Fauci. I got a nasty letter from, the CDC saying, that I was a public risk. So the dossier on me and Fauci has got to be huge.
Well, I think that if there was anything good that came from COVID, it's people learn the proper amount of regard to hold people like Fauci in. Like COVID-19 taught people that all of these academics pretending to be experts in whatever field are just making things up. And now you're having a serious replication crisis with all these scientific papers where the peer review process is finding that they just, not only can they not replicate the findings of a paper based on a separate set of research, they can't take the paper's own research and reverse engineer whatever it was they did. So you've got all these doofuses with PhD behind their name who just don't know anything. Like, they're not even good at the thing they spent $600,000 learning how to do. So people, I think, now have more respect for like their electrician and their plumber or their next door neighbor or somebody who's in the military than they do, somebody who's like, oh, you're a PhD in environmental science, so you think you're going to tell us about like how viruses spread? No, not anymore. Not next time around. I don't think COVID 2027 or COVID 2028, whatever it is, I don't think it's going to work.
Well, it's funny. Oh, go ahead, John. You haven't had a chance.
No, I was going to agree with Steve. Like during my tenure as the Board of Health chair, I'm not a doctor, I never was ashamed of it, but I would sit in these rooms with these doctors during COVID, and the sky was falling. I'm like, guys, the data's right here. Kids don't die, thankfully. Old people who are fat, they die. Okay, maybe you should be worried about me, but nobody else is dying. Look at the data. Well, John, you're not a doctor. No, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
But look at the data. People just refuse to even have a conversation about the data, and it's like, guys, when I was in meetings originally with the Baker administration when they were going to shut down the state of Massachusetts. I'm not going to lie. First couple days into it, I'm like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. But then as the data started to come out, it's like, this is the biggest hoax of our lifetime. Like, you really have, it was serious. Don't get me wrong. If you were an older person with some health issues or you were heavy, there were some real concerns, but there is no reason why we had to shut the schools down. There is no reason why we had to shut the churches down. Walmart and Home Depot can operate, but I can't go to church, or I can't go buy a gun, or I can't, I can't go into a social gather. I couldn't go to my Rotary meetings and stuff like that. It's just outrageous. And it shows you how much, how many sheep do we have in this country that, Dr. Fauci's a hero. No, he's not. He's a criminal.
Absolutely. And then to have Rochelle Walensky get up at the podium in the White House press room and say, teachers can now go back in the classroom safely. And then 24 hours later, those remarks are struck, and we're told that she said that in her personal capacity, because Randy Weingarten called the White House and said, no, you're not doing this stuff, and by the way, bail out our pension funds, which of course the administration did. The administration did at the time. It's like,
we always talk about us being suckers because we don't have our own NGOs. How come I didn't do a PPP loan for myself and stuff like that, How many people do I know that took out hundreds of thousands of dollars of loans and never had to pay them back? Here I am.
Well, have you guys ever followed there's an account on Twitter that just went through and found all of the the $25,000 PPP loans. Like, eventually someone discovered that you could start a one-person business and apply for a PPP loan and get $20,000, and it took off like wildfire. Around the same time, there was a serious shortage of crab meat in the southeast United States, and the sales of certain sports cars went through the roof. It's correlation, not causation. But if you look through the names of some of these one-person PPP loans, it's kind of hilarious how much this program was defrauded. It might have been more defrauded in its short time in existence than even the Medicaid program.
Tom Brady got a PPP loan. Like, how does Tom Brady get a I mean, it's just crazy. Like,
well, that's who benefited from it the most in Maine. It was not Tom Brady, but people who were well-to-do already. It was all the lobbying firms and all the CPA firms and the attorneys' offices, which, by the way, didn't see a decline in business. They might have gone to work from home, but they didn't suffer. And also, while we're on the topic of people getting PPP loans, we should mention Senate President Maddie Daughtry got $500,000 from a state version of the pandemic loans for her 3-person beer company. Like, I think the four of us could probably get together and brew beer that tastes just as good as anything Maddie Daughtry can brew. I don't think we'd be getting $500,000.
Tom's Hot Sauce. We can start our own business. Let's go.
Hey, Renee says,
Wireburst.com.
Renee says COVID caused the crazies come out of the woodwork. So I'll say, yeah, that's an upside. And the other thing that the lockdowns did was they exposed the teachers, the classrooms.
Yes. I forget which district it is, but there was a school in Maine that brought their students back and then had the teachers teach from a TV screen. So all the kids were back, but the teachers zoomed in, and it was like Big Brother just hanging out on the TV screen teaching you while all the students are in class, which I love because it perfectly illustrates that the school closures had nothing to do with the students. The school closures were about protecting the baby boomer teachers from some perceived illness. Because, you know, maybe some people might say that the teachers are all fat, lazy baby boomers who are, you know, prone to catching these kinds of diseases. But that's exactly what it was. It was teachers staying at home. You know, they work half a year, and so we give them the entire year off plus benefits. What a great deal for the teachers. But we as a society have yet to really bear the full, poison fruit of stunting a generation of kids.
Oh, I disagree.
Those costs are coming.
Yep. I disagree a little bit, Steve, because I think one of the COVID lockdown has caused this DSA movement in the country right now. Because a lot of these kids that were in middle school or high school now have graduated, now they can vote and stuff. And that's why I even see it with my kids in their late 20s and early 30s. You know, they don't trust the government. They're never going to be able to buy a house. They're on their phones all the time. They don't know how to have conversations or look people in the eye. And that's why this new generation is so angry, and why the Plattner campaign got some steam, because this guy's going to go and fix it. No, he's not. He's not going to go and fix it. But that's why he gained momentum, because these kids they're disenfranchised, and I kind of understand why they're disenfranchised. But to your point, the mental health crisis in this country is going to be so astronomically expensive from locking all these kids down, and not educating them and passing them along. Oh yeah, Johnny can go to the 3rd grade. He didn't learn anything in the 2nd grade, but it's okay. He can go to the 3rd, 4th grade. These kids, they didn't get good educations, but more importantly, their mental health is screwed up. And eventually, they're going to be voters, and eventually, they're going to be leaders in our communities. And the devastating impacts of this, to your point, that you can't put a price tag on.
And then we shoved them full of transgender drugs while they were locked at home, learning from their computer screen. Hellcats, by the way, Hellcats were the name of the car that got very popular. There was a loan to somebody in Spring, Texas for $15,000 called Hellcat LLC. In Henderson, Nevada, it was Hellcat Partners. Someone in Hartsville, South Carolina just went ahead and called it Dodge Hellcat LLC.
Well, you had all the stimulus checks, right? And they just printed money to afford those, basically. And half the people that are in their 20s or younger blew it on NFTs or graded video games or Pokemon cards or Rolexes, and that market collapsed in like 2022, 2023. But then the government had to jack up interest rates to lower inflation after they printed all that money. So, all the rich people could profit just from their bonds and from holding money in 6%, just keeping your money in a deposit account. Well, all the quote-unquote working class got screwed because they pissed all their money away on NFTs. So I think that kind of explains a lot. Yeah, right.
What'd you buy?
I didn't buy any NFTs. No, I was. I don't even think I got a stimulus check somehow. I might have got one or two.
I can tell you though that I knew a lot of people who were playing the Robinhood stock market NFT, Dogecoin game, and they were like ecstatic, elated because they bought a MLB package of NFTs and they got a Mike Trout rookie card or something, and their phone says that it's worth $30,000. So in their brain, they think, well, I've got $30,000. I'm going to hang on to this because it's going to be really, really valuable someday. And I remember telling people, sell it right now. Like, if you really think that's worth $30,000, like, sell it, because the only thing that it's worth is what somebody else will pay you for it. Like, there's no way that's worth $30,000, but they're conditioned to just say, like, well, it says on my phone it's $30,000, so why wouldn't it be $30,000? It's just as good as my bank account, right?
And then they maxed out their credit cards to buy more NFTs when that NFT went up, and then you get stuck when you're way over leveraged, and it just totally screwed people over.
Well, and they didn't have to pay college tuition, they didn't pay college loans, and they didn't have to pay the rent. And remember this big piece that came out at the time just showed that they all just spent it on travel.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we'll go to wherever we came to, Vegas, and just, like, nobody saved any. It was terrible. Like, this idea that, that you would shut down businesses, and that's why we need to capture the verbiage around this, the language around this too. So when the left says, or when when these Democrats say that COVID, destroyed small businesses, it did no such thing.
COVID did nothing. It was the lockdowns.
It was like, exactly. Like, there's a reason that, like, when I was working for the Lowell Sun at the time, and all of it, we had to cut people, obviously, and us managers, we all got huge pay cuts at the time, which was no bueno. We had to get pay cuts because all the businesses that were writing us checks for advertising got zero revenue. So it's like, you effers are destroying everybody here, other than Walmart. Walmart did just fine.
Amazon and Walmart.
Yes, the liquor stores, and the pot shops can stay open for sure.
Yeah.
The last thing I would say about Dr. Fauci is, who keeps a diary?
That's what
you guys keep a diary? We're just like sitting there
we're
writing
talking about that at the top of the show. No, yeah.
John's like, today my tires were slashed by some fat asshole in Antifa. Today I stopped in at the Biddeford Police Department to see if they'd arrested the guy who hit me with a skateboard, but they haven't because he's a liberal, and liberals don't get arrested for their crimes. Who the hell keeps a diary like that?
Well, yeah, and it's a diary about his fame. It's a diary.
Yes, it's the most gratuitous, self-masturbatory diary ever. There's no contemplative, the nation is seesawing on the edge. On one path we can lock down, on the other path freedom. There's no deliberation over what he might be doing. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing that points toward a deeper intellectual level or any kind of moral compass for Dr. Fauci. It's all just I'm super famous. I'm doing more shows. I'm going to put out a book out and make a bunch of money.
Yeah, and if you're going to do the diary, why say that you're accepting awards for places you're cutting checks to?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't say this very often, but I hope Dr. Fauci gets AIDS.
Be poetic. Graham put it in your video today, but Fauci making that pitch at the Washington Nationals game. I mean, that is the symbolism. It just shows you what an egomaniac is. The guy quite obviously couldn't make a pitch, and if you knew you can't, if you've ever made a pitch off a mound, it's not easy. I mean, it's really not, especially when people are watching. It just shows his arrogance that he thought he could do it. He made a total ass out of himself. And I don't hope that he gets AIDS, but I do hope that Rand Paul throws the book at him on Wednesday. Nothing short of Fauci going to prison will be enough for me. I mean, seriously, it won't be
Well, you're a
enough.
squish then. If you don't want him to get AIDS, that makes you a monster. we should
I want him to suffer.
We should do a main wire poll and see what the audience, how many people in the audience hope Dr. Fauci gets AIDS.
I mean, even what he did before COVID with, animals and beagles and stuff like that, it just shows that he's a true monster. I mean, he's just a true monster. I mean, yeah.
I've never read. Have either of you read RFK's book about him?
No.
Neither have I. I want to though. I've heard Rogan talk about it, and it seems pretty devastating. So I'd like to read it or listen to it sometime.
I wonder if RFK will testify this week. Why not haul him up there to pile on?
Did any of you guys get kicked off of Twitter during COVID? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't. No.
They kicked off of YouTube every week, though. It's like if you were a conservative, you just could not have a YouTube account. It was impossible, and that's kind of led to the rise. Like Rumble only exists because YouTube was banning every single conservative on the platform, basically. So they've luckily chilled out on that. But I think the most surreal story was the CEO of YouTube inventing a free speech award and then giving it to herself, and then in the award ceremony bragging about it was like the 4 R's: remove, restricted. It was how they use robots to ban everybody, while accepting her free speech award that she gave herself. She's no longer the CEO of YouTube, luckily, but that was a tremendous piece of content.
I have 2 last observations about the Fauci, the whole COVID era. One was, I was in Connecticut when the world was coming back alive and we were opening up again. And so they had the vaccines there, and they wanted to make sure, they wanted to give out the vaccine through a lens of equity. So the problem is a lot of black men in Hartford didn't want the government's jab. They didn't want the shot. So you had teams of Connecticut task force health people chasing around black men. In some cases, actually chasing them. Saying, wait, no, stop. And they're like, leave me alone. Because they needed to make sure that it was equitable. You know, if you're going to get 1,000 white people that day, then you need 1,000 black people, and so find one. Which is freaking just pathetic.
I think that black Americans might have a little bit of ancestral memory of forced vaccinations. You know, they might have a little skepticism of white Dr. Fauci's chasing them around with needles.
Absolutely, yeah, it's warranted. Not only that, can we all agree that there needs to be an electric chair retroactively for Bill de Blasio eating that burger?
Oh God, yes.
Or the pizza,
the fries, and all incentives. Oh.
But guys, worst of all time, worst video of all time to emerge from that was Stephen Colbert and the dancing syringes.
Oh, Steve, don't. Oh, got it. Oh. That's horrific. That's absolutely. That might have been worse than it. The visual of that maybe worse than the Kennedy assassination. I'm sorry. That was brutal. Oh, and the way he was like effeminate about it too, and kind of kind of had a kind of a wise ass where we're doing fun here, about freaking vaccines. I don't know about you guys. Steve, I carry this with me. This is my
But Tom, I was saying that I can trace a lot of my recent health problems back to my COVID shot. And when I started originally going to my surgeon to have my hip replaced, I told him that immediately after I got my COVID shot, I started having circulatory problems in my hips and in my hands. And he's like, well, yeah, what shot did you get? And I told him, he's like, yeah. He goes, I see people like that every single day. And I said, well, how come you're not seeing this on the news then? How come it's not talked about? He's like, you understand how we get paid, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I do. I understand how you get paid. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not the only one, is what I'm saying. A lot of people in my age demographic I know that have, circulatory problems. Oh, somebody's saying the same here, yeah. I mean, it was a week after I got my second shot, I started having, noticeable problems. And, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It was just like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, but I think it's fair to say that one thing that this COVID has taught us is that they don't know anything. Doctors don't. But
No,
they don't.
and that they're fine experimenting on you. And
Exactly.
I am a firm believer that the ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine worked as prophylactics or reduced the severity of the disease, and that they downplayed them on purpose because that would have taken away the emergency use justification for pushing out the vaccine. 1,000%.
Yep.
Like I don't like just play a tape of everything Fauci has ever said about it, and whatever it is, the opposite's the truth. Ditto for Joe Biden. And, not for nothing, but Trump deserves some blame here, too. Trump made Fauci into a celebrity. Trump dragged him out there to the press briefings and said, here's the smart doctor person who's going to make sure we're all safe, and I should be able to win re-election. Trump turned Fauci into a household name and a celebrity. I had no idea who he was before the pandemic started, and Trump's desire for TV productions helped turn Fauci into a household name.
Yeah, like Neil Diamond or somebody, maybe it wasn't Neil Diamond, took their music off of Spotify because Joe Rogan took ivermectin because it was
Neil Young.
The horse.
Correct.
Neil Young. Yeah.
And
horse dewormer, the horse paste that was all over CNN for months, and then if you come to find out that their biggest advertiser is Pfizer, of course, so it's the direct financial incentive.
Well, this COVID report brought to you by Pfizer.
My mom was in a book club, and she did something at the husband and wife in the house she went to were both doctors, and they made everyone make cookies in the freezer a week before, so there would be no cookies or no COVID on the cookies. And then they made everyone sit outside when it was 4 degrees out on a January night, 6 feet away from each other from this book club. And those were 2 doctors hosting that. So my trust in the medical system has been about 0 ever since that incident. You're more likely to get hypothermia than COVID.
I do have a friend who owned a glass business that turned into a plexiglass business during COVID. He lives in some remote island now, and I haven't talked to him about it because he made so much money.
Yeah, yes, those are still up in some places. It's crazy. It's like John will remember. You guys were probably too young, but remember the gypsy moth? And there was rings around every tree, and then the rings, are now 20 feet up high. Most people under 40 wouldn't know why they were there, but. That's another thing, by the way. That's also, the gypsy moths were brought to Medford, Massachusetts 100 years ago as part of a medical study, John.
Yep.
Another thing that the Fauci of his time brought over here to fix everything.
I'm excited. I can't wait to know what next the medical experts will do for us.
Well, it's going to have to be something with Wegovy, right? Because everybody's taking this stuff. Which is another thing, which I'm taking, by the way, which is another thing.
Is it working?
It wants to work. I have battles with it because I don't.
Is your appetite stronger than the Wegovy, Tom?
Briefly.
Are you still eating tripe? You're the only person I know who loves tripe.
You should love tripe. It's the innards of a cow. You should love it.
I'm okay with organ meats, but tripe, I just can't do it. It's the texture. It feels like rubber bands. I don't like calamari either.
Oh, come on. How about cow's tongue?
Yeah, cow's tongue's fine. Organ meats are fine. I'm not a tripe guy.
Yeah,
there's plenty of normal meat out there. Why do you got to eat a cow's tongue, Tom?
But Tom, you don't feel hungry on Wegovy, or you feel hungry and then
about once a day and then a little peckish. But if I try to eat like I want to eat, like if I want to kill a huge Taco Bell taco, I need to do it in 10 seconds, or else the Wegovy's going to stop. It's going to make me feel like full and like not great. That's what it does.
Have you tried purging?
Oh, it has forced me to purge.
Yeah. But I mean, adopting bulimia as a way to binge the food you want.
I think
eat a little bit and then.
I think I have subtly joined Team Bulimia. Yeah, I have.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know.
Check that out.
I'm sure you're writing about it in your diary.
And you pay a couple $100 a month to feel this way?
It was through one of those shady things that texted me. It was $300 a month. Now it's $150 through Amazon.
Well, I will tell you, Tom, and anyone else who's listening, that the same chemistry experts who are helping to fumigate certain marijuana grows in northern Maine, they are also in the knockoff GLP-1 business.
Yeah.
So I would be careful where you get your GLP-1s from, because it could be coming from like the Chinese version of Walter White.
Steve, you'll enjoy this. I was out to dinner on Saturday night, and some guy came up to me. He's like, "Do you know anything about this marijuana stuff up in rural Maine?" I said, "Well, I'm not an expert, but my boss is." And he goes, how come people don't talk about this? It's a huge story, yet nobody talks about it. I said, well, we've got a documentary, and, we've done a tremendous amount of work. And he's like, he goes, this should be the biggest news story in America. And I'm like, well, have you talked to any of your state reps or called the governor? No. I just figured I'd tell the Maine Water. I'm like, people are finally starting to catch on. Like, this is
I don't think it's that big of a story.
No
big deal.
Well, it's actually where is these people are obviously a part of a Chinese syndicate, which is obviously affiliated, if not directly attached to the Communist Party. Where is any of the reprisals for COVID or for the Chinese mafia being in the Northeast?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, COVID greatly helped the Chinese marijuana cartels, because for one, it encouraged a lot of people in Maine to sell their house and skedaddle to Florida, to a free state. Made a lot of easy money, and Quantic Bank, the bank that financed 65 or 70 of these transactions for houses that would go on to become cannabis grows, they received buku infusion of taxpayer dollars as part of some of these, bills that were signed by Trump and by Biden. So the triad weed was subsidized by the United States taxpayer, but it also created the, stay in your house, don't go in the public square, don't ask any questions, keep to yourself, and that environment was exploited severely by the people who were doing this.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Was there ever any fallout from Jenna Mills' brother, or is he just allowed? I guess it's all legal. It doesn't really matter.
Supposedly we have a U.S. attorney who was appointed by Trump and could do something about it. I think that there's investigations ongoing. Who knows? But I'll say I should have partnered with the triad rather than doing journalism. Like, financially, I would have been better off throwing in with the triad. Just find out whoever their representative is and just go to them and offer to consult with them and help them blend in. I think I've said this before, but if you just put a Trump sign in your front yard and a broken down snowmobile, no one's ever going to know what you're doing. And it smells like weed, who cares? Just look at your neighbor and go, MAGA, Donald Trump. Nobody cares. You're never going to get reported. And, business should be through the roof for him by now.
I don't know, Steve, you look like you're doing all right. You got the Golden Cobra's got a new home, it looks like. What are you doing?
A nice studio.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah, we're still figuring it out.
We got a vicious tongue lashing from the boss for not having suggested colors, and I believe we did in earnest yesterday. I think there were all sorts of submissions.
I was team navy blue, and the navy blue looks fantastic. It brings out the baby blues in the eyes.
I think it looks good, but we gotta find a better place for the Golden Cobra. Maybe a little gold pedestal for the globe. What about a couple pieces of artwork we need to draw up?
I think you need an 800-pound Greek marble column for the Golden Cobra, and then a mighty painting in the background.
Actually, you know what we need? I'll be right back.
Well, while he's doing that before the show ends, Tom, can we just throw up the hottest event of the summer? Toyota-thon.
So lame. What are they effing thinking, man? What are they thinking? Although I do want one. But what are they thinking?
They're Democrats. They don't think.
I would actually wear one of those too, to be honest. The blue one without his face on, that's a great gag shirt. Yes, hold on. Yeah, hold on.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, they did a great job.
How much McDonald's was he gonna buy?
It's McDonald's money. That's legit.
Do you think Fox would let me get away with this?
There's a Steve Collins article coming out now.
I think you should cut out his face and then just put your face in. It's like one of those tourists.
I think the sword needs to be behind him. Do you think, Grant?
Yeah, maybe we mount the sword.
That's actually not a bad. That's a good idea.
We'll see though. I'm getting a little creative here. I was thinking for a possible future developments for Mainwire TV might be interesting if we threw it to John Featherston News Hour after Mainwire TV or the Steve Robinson Show or something like that. Expand the programming offerings that we have here. Get some interest. Get some interest expressed from possible syndication partners. People like Mainwire TV. So I think it's something we'll continue to expand and grow.
I still think there's some merit to buying like a $500,000 old school scooter and then doing Captain Steve live from the Gulf of Maine from Mainwire TV. That wouldn't be a hassle at all. I think that the boat pays for itself in a couple months. $500,000 well spent.
I think so. I mean, there's got to be a donor out there who would understand the value of buying me a boat.
Well, guys, all those checks that everybody on the Minnesota comments said that I get from Trump, I just been saving them for an event like this. So like, don't worry, money's not a problem.
That'll be the next pitch. The next time John and I are down at the White House, we'll say, Mr. President, thank you for the millions of dollars you've given us so far. However, we need a yacht.
A 1926 scooter, wooden scooter.
No, we'll take one of his old ones that he doesn't use it.
If we're in the boat business, we should just go for a yacht, and we should play it as a security concern. John got hit with a skateboard. We're not safe anywhere we go. We need a yacht.
Yeah, one that doesn't run clean, too. Did we, by the way, we were amiss, Graham, but how did we not start the show with a land acknowledgement?
Oh yeah, I know.
Don't even get me started. I feel like I fully expressed myself on social media in multiple posts, but what a moron Charles Dingman is.
How perfect of a last name does this man have? Because he is a Dingman.
You know what's the best? Did we already play this? We didn't play it. No. You know what's the best? Listen to the very end. Listen to the crowd at the very end.
I want to pause first to recognize that we are meeting today in the unceded homeland of the Penobscot Nation. The Maine Democratic Party acknowledges that the Maliseet, Micmac, Passamaquoddy, and Penobscot tribal nations have long been stewards of the places where most of us live and work, and that they are entitled to recognition as distinct sovereign entities.
We stole it! We did! We stole it, and then we raped the land, and we're going to continue to rape it. You can't have it back, yeah!
Did they get like $85 million for this?
They did. It is ceded land. They sold it. This would be like if you're having a barbecue, acknowledging the person who sold you the house. This was ceded land. In 1980, President Carter signed into law the Maine Native Claims Settlement Act, or I guess Maine Indian Claims Settlement Act. They've changed it to Native now to be more PC. And then there was implementing legislation, and they gave the tribes, all of whom approved that legislation, they gave them $85 million, a mix of cash and land, and they could go out and buy whatever land they wanted to, and they did. They took the money in exchange for extinguishing their claims. And there's a whole bunch of other, problems with the deal that I saw people squawking at me on social media about. Like, yes, you can argue that the chiefs did something that was in their own interest, but not in the tribe's interest. not my problem. You could argue that there was corruption behind the scenes, and again, not my problem. You could argue that they didn't make the best land purchases. Also, not my problem. But the land was ceded. They signed it. It's as official as a cessation of land can possibly be. So to call it unceded land just shows that he is a bleeping moron.
Yeah, well, nobody knows any of this. People don't know, you know. Since the 1600s.
But the thing is, Tom, I have to disagree because the Indian sovereignty bill in the two most recent legislative sessions was like a dominant piece of legislation that people were fighting over. Janet Mills spiked it multiple times that she hates natives, deeply hates natives. And so it was a weird legislative debate where some hardcore conservative libertarian members of the Republican Party supported it, and then far left progressives supported it, and they almost had enough to override the veto. But there are some issues lingering with the tribes, but to call it unceded land is just wrong, and you should know that because it's been such a big issue over and over again for the last 4 years.
Yeah, you know what Dingman does for a living? It makes the story even better. You know what he does for a living? No, he makes you think.
A life coach.
Close. He's an attorney for main care facilities.
Yes, he is. That is his full-time job. If you're a not just main care facilities, but main care fraudsters.
Fraudsters, yeah.
If you get caught overbilling Medicaid, your first call should be to Dingman, because when Dingman's your lawyer, all of a sudden your recoupment amount goes to zero. It's almost like a shakedown operation, where the state comes to you if you're Abdullah Ali and says, geez, it looks like you've been taking a little bit too much Medicaid money. You'd be ashamed if we had to come audit you. And you tie to Dingman and suddenly it goes away.
Yeah.
So if Sandra Pelletier had pulled a miracle and won, would there be like 2,000 Toyotathon t-shirts just showing up like the new mayor?
In third world countries?
Yeah. Honestly, if you Graham came to me with Toyotathon t-shirts and wanted to sell them at mainwiremerch.com, I would be like, no, that's too tacky and gay. Like, we don't want to do that. That's terrible. That's bad.
Who's making decisions like that?
I know.
First of all, it's like
Devin Murphy Anderson.
Hey, she had nothing. She was kept out of that. This is a Dingman strategy right here.
But don't you need to even pretend like Sandra Pelletier was on the stage? I know everybody knew Troy Jackson was going to win, but if you're hosting this event and pretending to care about democracy, don't you have to pretend that anyone could win? Like, did anyone believe they had Sandra Pelletier merch and graphics and catchy slogans lined up just in case she won? Of course not. So, but they had this ready to go. It kind of shows that it's like a predetermined outcome.
Did you also notice that Dingman bragged about there were no invalid, ballots? Like, was that supposed to be funny, or was that supposed to be like, do we really have a problem with our elections here? And they took it.
I don't even know that they've come out and said who was the vendor who handled their sham election.
Coronation, Steve, not an election.
No. I'm talking about the caucus committee process. Like it all happened. It all happened by email. So, from the experience of a Maine Democrat, you wanted to vote in the caucus. You got an email and you clicked who you wanted to vote for, and then you got the results back. So who handled all of that? There had to have been some kind of technology vendor that they partnered with to do that. Who was it? Who paid for it? Who owns the company that they used to tabulate those votes? What were their security protocols? That doesn't seem very transparent to me. Has anyone... I don't know that anyone's answered that question.
How dare you ask questions, you know?
Yeah.
Wes is a laugh if Toyota hit some of the cease and desist. Well, among other things...
Yeah, I was thinking that too, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to name this after a Japanese car company's sale period. What the fuck is that? Doesn't make any sense. It also, like, this summer, of all summers, The word Troy is in vogue and is being referenced. You know, like,
I don't think you could pull that off. I don't think you could Photoshop Troy Jackson on Brad Pitt with those shoulders. I don't know if that works.
No, how about my little friend, who's the girl who runs like E.T.?
Elliot Page? That might work. That might work. It's more accurate representation.
All right, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think that's all I have. I'm working on the Book of Troy Part 2.
Very nice. The Graham Pollard joins us from the Mainwire, along with John Featherston, Steve Robinson from the Robinson Report. I am Tom Shattuck. We'll see you here tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here on Mainwire TV.
Without the government, and they understand the economic pressure. The government understands the economic pressure that is about to befall.
So rogue troops might trigger
but yet the
ceasefire to be
is
broken.
kind of operating in their own little universe, if you will. What does that mean?
That's why Trump hasn't said that, oh, they've officially broken the ceasefire. You've got these rogue elements of their military that are firing off the last few missiles they have before this whole thing wraps up.
Well, I think we know who's in power. It's certainly not the president. He's been sidelined some time ago.
Yep.
It's certainly not the foreign minister who's been sidelined some time ago. The IRGC is in charge. There's just no doubt about it. They've got the guns and they have the access to the supreme leader. Obviously, Montana Khamenei, who's the son,
the guy we've never seen.
He doesn't have the power that his father had, and there's a power vacuum here being filled by the IRGC leadership, and they are calling the shots. So I don't think we should pay much attention to what the foreign minister says, or frankly to what the president of Iran said. The guys in charge here is and the principal person in charge is Ahmed Vahidi, and he and his cohorts. They are as hardline as anybody that has been in control of Iran. And we've got to understand that. No thought.
So the general says that we should be looking at this as if a military coup has taken place in Iran, and as if the military is just completely in charge of the country, and nobody answers to anybody except the guys with the guns. And he's probably right. But what we don't know is the military even united in these seemingly random attacks? Is there even coordination? Do you have different branches of the military that are just kind of doing their own thing while they have the opportunity to operate autonomously? And is that the real reason? Is Trump saying, look, I'm going to give you guys another chance to get it together before we have to go back to combat operations? Is he saying, look, make a deal now before it's too late, while your leverage goes out the window as we reopen the strait because you can't stop us? Let me know what you think. See you in the next video.
What is politically segregated, and actually when you're on track, when you count down, you don't know the gender of the person back in the car. All that matters is the performance, and that's the beauty of sport. It's very pure. When you lose, the result sheets don't lie.
Susan, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This is an asset winning formula. We're talking.
Major questions exist about this
I
new
mean, if there
deal.
only wasn't so much waste
Deal with Iran is worse
in
than
metal.
no deal. If we cannot secure a good deal,
just
if
maybe.
we cannot force the Islamic Republic into accepting total humiliating surrender, we should keep the pressure on the regime and force them into surrender.
I still believe it's going to take significant kinetic action to bring the Iranians to heel in a way that delivers on the outcome. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's an arrangement that the Iranians have not only agreed to a deal, which Martha, you and I both know, a piece of paper is largely worthless when it comes to the Islamic Republic and the IRGC. But I hope he's got a set of arrangements there that can do exactly what has been described.
And that's what a lot of people are worried about. But here's what the president has to say.
We just made a great job of it.
Okay.
The war, and we subject to finalization of documents.
So good.
Senator Collins supports and advocates.
Yummy. I'm gonna get 5,800 trophies today.
Okay. That's true.
I said I was in Iowa. It was $1.85 a gallon.
That's pretty good.
It's going to come down, and when oil comes down,
Okay.
the less comes down. And most importantly, we have a deal that Iran will never have from nuclear weapon.
which was the whole purpose of what.
Oops, I missed one of the goblins.
But we have a signed soon, and the documents are in. So we're gonna know. So we're gonna find out. Very good. Should be done. That should be done pretty quick.
So the Hassan playbook. There's more. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I think it's insane that Hassan has gone on in a mode where he had the diaper imagery in the background, and he's now replaced it with the 9/11 front page, which is I don't even want to say a bold choice to put that back there, because it'd be one thing if I had a giant American flag in the background of my show, and I was like in memoriam of all the lives that lost, first responders, coppers, firefighters, innocent victims. This would be a patriotic thing. But for a guy that once went out there and said, I can't find it, once went out there and said, America deserved this, it's an entirely different context for him to have this in the background of his stream. Now, originally, Asmund Gold says, hey, you're flying too close to the sun. This might actually get you banned, because, like a lot of people are saying, is not only would you sue Hassan for whatever he does, defamation, whatever it may be, you now would sue Twitch for doing it because they're platforming him and allowing him to break rules.
If Hassan continues going down the path that he's going, I think that he will get, I don't know if he's going to get deplatformed, but there's going to be something problematic that will happen to him, institutionally. Yes. I think that this will happen.
And I think it already kind of is, because he's not getting the collaborations he wants. He's not getting the invites he would once get. He's very upset about that. It's already starting to backfire him, but it's just going to keep on getting worse. And not because of the terror things or anything he said, the violence he's endorsed.
Stupid.
I think it's just the dog shocking incident.
This will affect his career in a big way. If he continues going down the path that he's going right now, you have, for example, he recently framed a newspaper article of, the day after 9/11. You don't need to, what are you doing, right? How is this helping your cause? How are you going to say that, I just want free healthcare, and then frame a newspaper article about 9/11? You see what I'm saying?
Because, like he said before, the underlying principle behind everything is just Islamic terror. He might be for China, he might be for healthcare, he might be for defeating MAGA Republicans in office. But no matter what, when you start drilling it down between conflicting values, the one that's always going to be prevalent and the one that's always going to win over everything is his support for terror groups. And sad to say, that's why it's over there. It's very, very illustrative of what you have behind you, because we're not like corporate drones. We design our sets how we want. These are things that just make me happy. It's dumb. The Dodgers and Pokemon or whatever. Nothing in me says, hey, let's talk about a terror attack. It tells you a lot about him.
So that's the kind of stuff that, I think that he is flying increasingly closer to the sun, and eventually he is going to go over the line with this, and it's going to be, I think, very problematic.
I said this before. He's got the Johnny Somali trajectory. Keep on poking the bull. Keep on getting more and more extreme. Because once you've made a career off of, going viral off of said thing, you can't do said thing again. You can't do a milder version of said thing. If you want to make waves and become relevant again, it has to keep on getting progressively worse and progressively more eye-catching and disruptive in the social media feeds. That's why it has to be the 9/11 poster. He has to be provocative, and it's going to backfire in the near future.
And I think he's getting really close to it already. Nothing will happen to him. Nothing happened to Alex Jones until he got deplatformed on every single place in one day, overnight. Nothing happened until everything happened instantaneously.
Yeah, the nothing happened crowd always upsets me, because they say nothing happens. It's like, yeah, well, just because you guys aren't affected by when stuff happens, what is it, the war in Ukraine, the government confirming UFOs, stuff happens all the time. It's just you guys get a little bit lost in how quick the news media cycle refreshes.
He got deplatformed on and he got sued. Yeah, exactly. And lost flying really, really close to the sun. He is, and I think that he is one.
The text right there says, "Where's a Mao outfit?" Drops a Maoist dog whistle. Always seek truth from facts. And says, "Guys, it's just a Chinese suit." Exactly. It's gotta be that subtext of being provocative. I can't gain attention just giving my garbage takes and sitting there eating my Uber Eats, watching YouTube all day. I gotta do something extreme. Always gotta do something more and more extreme to try to cover up the fact that he probably shocked his dog on live stream. Never mind all that. Just the idea that he's doing it on purpose. It's a part of his strategy, and maybe I can't hate on it because he has more of an audience, more donations, and much more wealth than I do. Maybe I need to start doing something weird. I don't want to because it's going to ruin your life, but the other shoe's about to drop.
Mishap away from getting deplatformed.
Yes.
Like, and let me just add everything together, right? You have a person who has gone on record and said that it is a lesser of two evils that white women get raped.
Yes.
You've said that America deserved 9/11.
Said that.
And in a vacuum, and if that's the only thing that you had said, and you were
say what? Yeah, no, he said that in the context of, I think it was his speech about college campuses and how, bad things happen, and the whole like bro tips Hassan, frat boy Hassan, kind of seemed like he was in that universe. I can't be for certain. Maybe he was playing a role. I don't know. Don't care about the guy back then. But he said it would be okay if it was just the rich elites doing it to the rich, white, wealthy Christian elites, something to the effect of that, doing it to themselves. It's not even that far of a stretch to say he said exactly what Asmund Gould did, but it's just another instance in a long list of him being a terrible person.
Well, Democrat, you could easily say that and play that off and say that like American imperialism caused destabilization of the Middle East and it caused a backlash event, right? I think that people can understand that. But the problem is that you didn't just say that. Then you were also talking about like Taliban members putting their dicks in Dan Crenshaw's eye or something like that.
He did say that.
Now you're framing
And it's always crazy how like oddly sexual a lot of his arguments get, especially against people he doesn't like. Oh, you want to sleep with me? Oh, grandmas like watching me, so they get really active in their retirement homes. Like, it's this very, very self-snitching thing where everything always loops back to something. I think that you guys have been watching me long enough that you know things get to sports analogies pretty quickly with me because that's just I'm a filthy casual, a sports ball enjoyer. I'm a very like normie guy. It's because that's just it's like running in the background of my RAM all the time. Sports analogy, whatever, simpleton. For him to always get to, somebody angered me, let me make this related to S activity, makes me kind of feel like there's something kind of murky going on in the background.
A newspaper article of the day after 9/11. You're wearing a Mao's. Huh? Yeah, he got banned for that. He got suspended for that one. And that was not a good one, right? Oh yeah, saying to kill Rick Scott.
Yes.
Tweeting out the picture of the gun used to kill Shinzo Abe. And I don't think he understands this.
It's crazy that Asmund has all this
Hassan,
in the top of his
and this
head.
is the issue, right? Is that he's this is a new one. This just happened today, right? He's been insulated from a lot of consequences for doing a lot of these things, right?
Yeah, but all the preferential Twitch streamers get that treatment. Honestly, I think about it like, here we go. I immediately went to sports analogy. Jason Tatum gets to have his mom and his kid walking on the court at all times. Like, there's every single one of those starting 5 Celtics players had a family, had a wife, had kids. None of them got those privileges. Nobody's bitter about it. Just your marquee superstar gets special treatment. That's the world works. Get over it. I know Hassan can get away with a lot more than I can. Even on YouTube, like my preferential platform, I can't even watch body cam video footage because this channel isn't as legacy as the Decoy Boys channel. Just the way things work, but I think it's going to be his ultimate downfall because the first time that he faces consequences for his actions on live stream is going to be by, what I believe, the federal authorities, not Twitch's TOS team.
Like an average person, like if you tweet out the schematic of a gun used to assassinate a politician at a politician, that you disagree with, it's very
Yes.
obvious that you're baiting people into assassinating that politician. That's very clearly.
Again, it's always the subtext, the illusion of this thing. He's a shock jock, trying to get more and more extreme every single time. And he made the Alex Jones analogy.
No!
Alex Jones is just a shock jock, saying the thing, going on the crazy conspiracy theory until it finally made him civilly liable in a lawsuit.
What you're trying to do. And so then you have, now there's also the Cuba thing, and you're getting investigated theoretically by the government.
Yes.
This is like, this is really gaining a lot of momentum here, right? And now you're dressing up as Mao Zedong, you're quoting him, etc.
Really into it.
This can't keep going on. Like, you can't keep doing this. Like, eventually, like, I can guarantee you that advertisers are complaining about this. I can guarantee you that there is a point where the dam breaks and a person like this gets deplatformed everywhere.
And the sad part is the advertisers say this was like 2022. I'm guessing the advertisers wouldn't complain about it. I think the ultimate red pill moment, or the black pill moment for the Democrats was when Donald Trump won the popular vote, despite all the harvested ballots everywhere. Meaning most Americans were sick and tired of the Democrat agenda. They wanted America first. MAGA freedoms, even if it was going to make you classified as a spooky white supremacist or racist or whatever the media is trying to paint you as. Once advertisers realized being a woke, insufferable actor makes your movie flop. Being a woke, insufferable anti-police athlete makes everybody boo you when you go out there. But if you are a proud patriot standing up and saluting the flag, you can be a linebacker or an offensive lineman, and your jersey will sell out overnight. If you are, Sophia Cunningham in the WNBA, they largely, nobody really knows about that league and what's going on there. I don't think you guys could name the last two champions of the WNBA's league. But she goes out there and says, women's sports should be women. And her jerseys sell out instantaneously across Fanatics, NBA.com, all those. Like, she is now the de facto most popular person in the league. Probably even bigger than, Caitlin Clark at this point in time. Advertisers go the way of the wind. They go with the money. And now the money is with the largest population, which is going to be anti-democrat extremist values. Like, I couldn't even name two teams. I mean, I know the Sparks and I know the Las Vegas Aces. See, I know two teams, guys.
Really want, if you want me to be honest, like, it's beneficial for me that Hassan is on the platform because it gives me content to talk about that's something to do, right?
Exactly. They make each other.
You are going down.
I want to say better, but they make each other rich.
That was a bad move.
And it brings more people into the ecosystem. So, like, from a very selfish, personal perspective, like, I don't even want to see Hassan get banned. Now, as viewers, I can see why people don't like Hassan. They don't want to see him.
Yeah, I think Asmongold wants Hassan to be the easiest straw man to defeat on stream 8 days a week. Hassan would like to see Asmongold be harmed in some way. There's a difference between the two of us.
Hassan,
symbiotic relationship, yeah.
But my point is that, like, I'm not even advocating for this.
No, it's
what
still
I'm
going.
saying is that if you don't watch yourself, I think he is going to get banned.
7:14
This was the same thing with me and Johnny Zamali. I kept on every video I did on him would get like 1 million views, but it would always have in the subtext or even a small break, like 20-second thing of me directly talking to Johnny Zamali. Stop doing this. I've seen you go on riffs on live streams before. You seem like kind of a humorous guy. You can make a different career. Probably not going to be as popular as you are getting smacked around in different countries. But this is going to end at some point in time. He came after me, called me a whole bunch of racial slurs, and I always was like, hey, you're a young guy, maybe you can fix this. I hope the best for you. And now he's rotting in a South Korean prison doing physical labor. I wish they would listen. I genuinely wish they would listen. I genuinely wish that like Hassan would just wake up and just say, you know what? Guys, it was an act. I wish I was still bro tips Hassan. I can still salvage whatever I can. I'm going to do a major pivot, shed all the extremist, violent fans I got, and try to be like an iShow speed type or just do regular IRL stuff. He's still close to that guy, Nick. He probably could salvage a smaller career and say, hey man, I dropped the thing. They got too extreme for me. Like I said, Kamala Harris, she probably could have not won, but done a lot better during the election if when she broke off from Biden, somebody stepped down for Biden. But instead of trying to say Biden did a good job, but I'm also going to fix things Biden did, if he said, hey, look, I was a good vice president, but he did everything opposite of what I would have done. This is how we actually serve the American people. Biden was a dinosaur. He was disconnected. And just like when she was debating him, call him a racist and just say, this is the new way of the Democrat Party. Kamala Harris probably could have captured a lot of people. I don't want her to win, but that would have been my advice to her. I have the same thing for Hassan here.
I think that you are flying way too close to the sun with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Asman's right, but then I guess Hassan is totally just dumping this. Like, no guys, it's not gonna happen to me.
Yeah, this was very funny. This was a very funny outrage. Hassan Piker framed the 9/11 front page. This is an enemy of America. It's like, first of all, it's called Never Forget.
Okay. Again, trying to feign ignorance. Guys, it's a memorial about it. No. A guy saying we deserved it can't turn around and saying, now I support the victims. I feel bad for him. No. He thinks he's trying to play dumb because it's more shock jock shit.
Hey, Twitch, you okay with this? I don't mean that to be funny. I'm actually asking, are you actually okay with this? Why would Twitch ban me for having a framed newspaper of 9/12?
Bleeding ignorance. This is like when somebody gets caught mid-crime and says, no, I wasn't breaking into houses here, guys. I was on a jog. I was just jogging through an under construction house with my Timberland boots on, my cargo shorts, carrying a hammer. The context, forget the context. I'm just telling you I'm innocent. They're trying to make you, what is it, gaslighting you. They're trying to make you feel stupid for seeing the truth.
Well, of the New York Times, that would be fucking insane. It is probably the most...
he still has a Chinese flag in the background there. Is that Lenin too?
Singularly important historic event of all of our lifetime.
In what context, though? Are you saying this on the side of the American victims or the attackers? Because I genuinely wonder what is this knee-jerk reaction? Yeah, it really impacted us. The New Yorkers or the people overseas? That's important to know.
That is insane. Hassan Piker now displays a frame 9/12 newspaper showing the Twin Towers in flames behind him on stream. History enthusiasts when it isn't World War II or the Roman Empire. Yeah, that was really funny. Has the September 12, 2001 New York Times framed on a set. You know what's really funny about all this, by the way? They all complained about this. And then one day later, Donald Trump came out and was like, hey, you know that country that had the most to do with 9/11, Saudi Arabia? I'm going to give that country nuclear weapons, potentially. A pathway to develop nukes. There is nothing funnier than watching the entire conservative sphere lose their collective minds and try to manufacture outrage over a non-issue that most normal people will be like, yeah, it's a fucking profoundly important historic event.
But it's coming from you. This is like O.J. Simpson coming out saying, believe all victims, or stop domestic violence, or, protect, I don't even know, just speaking out against domestic violence. Yes, everybody should be on the side against that. But is Rich coming from you with all your accusations we have against you? You know what you're doing. We're not stupid. This is gaslighting. But again, you have to have idiotic talking points when you have an idiotic audience.
That was a farm operation, manufactured outrage operation that I think kind of fell flat. And we moved on.
That and apologized after saying that America deserved 9/11. In the latest firestorm, addressed college Democrats in a Mao-style suit. Look at that. And it's interesting, guys.
Must be wild to sit there and actually watch detractor content. I know people don't like me. They don't like the Decoy channel. There's been videos of me with me in the thumbnail and them just trashing me. Just don't click it. Just delete it from my thing. Why? How does this benefit you? If unless it's just feeding into your ego. Look at this guy in a suit talking about me. Oh my God.
How is that?
It's showing a pattern of events. It's showing a trend. It's showing who you are as a person. How dare they throw my own actions in front of my face?
creates more opportunity for that.
He went from implying that I appreciated 9/11 to, and he wore a suit, and it's fucked up.
Wait, that was exactly what the example that Asmongold popped up saying, guys, I'm gonna wear Mao's suit, I'm going to dog whistle, I'm gonna say his phrases, and then go, guys, it's just a Chinese suit. Yeah, it's not just a trip to China you took. It was essentially a propaganda tour. You went on their media saying, oh, everybody has the wrong idea about China. Like, you get pulled over. The police question him one time. They open up his phone, and he turns around and gives them glowing results. And oh my God, we're white guys in China. Of course they're gonna do this. Look at this phone. Oh my God, this phone has such great technology. They're so ahead of American values. I'm like, this looks like a propaganda tour after you got shook down by the Chinese government, and now you're sitting over here, essentially wearing the costume of their previous dictator and saying positive things about it, then gaslighting everybody, saying, guys, it's just a suit. Just a suit, guys. You guys are taking this out of context. It's just a poster about the attack on America. I don't know what this is.
What a high note to end it on, man.
Yeah, he is, I refuse to believe he's completely ignorant to the potential consequences that he may be facing in the near future. I think he's a very smart individual, and he knows what's coming up next. But then, Hassan says, liberals on this website are actively posting out-of-context clips of me with the hopes Fox News picks them up. They're temporarily embarrassed MAGA. They're temporarily embarrassing MAGA? He's turning on his own side continuously. But I mean, yeah, the out-of-context is when he said, end capitalists, end property owners, end a certain U.S. senator. Like, he has a long history of being this way, and sad to say, this all would have been avoided if Twitch just upheld the guidelines of saying, yeah, you can't make calls to violence. Maybe you don't platform a terrorist. Maybe you don't make potential Chinese propaganda, or at the very least, maybe you don't electrocute your dog on stream. All these things would have been a slap on the wrist to say, hey, don't do that again. Learns there are very, very serious consequences to what you do on stream to your very large audience, and then maybe you don't just continue to do that thing anymore. That should have been his lesson. But just like a parent that refuses to rear their child and make certain, hey, you don't steal stuff from the other kids in the playground, and the first time they learn you can't steal is from a grocery store, not a grocery store, it's from a bodega where the business owner pulls out a shotty on them. The first time he's going to learn that you probably shouldn't be doing this is when the feds investigate him for potentially being an extension of the Chinese government or the Chinese propaganda teams. Kind of sad that's the way it shakes down, but again, I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's a very smart individual. It's just sad that internet antics have real life federal consequences. Hassan's uncle's just as bad, and I mean, it's sad because he just became a worse version of his uncle because he's younger. I don't really know too many people that can even reference, what is it, the TYT network, him and Anna Kasparian, who I think is pretty good sometimes, but even though they're emerging new media, they're not Fox News, they're not CNN, they're like YouTubers or whatever. I kind of feel like they're on the outs. The same way the Daily Wire's on the outs. They're pioneers of the craft, but they're very quickly being replaced by independent guys. I'm not even saying me because I'm not meant to be taken seriously like that, but somebody like Matt Morse. Like, I look at his live streams, 20K a day, live concurrent viewers, and I'm like, this is off-season political stuff, and that's all he talks about. He's like the new future. And also like Asmongold, guy with roaches in his background, playing not World of Warcraft, whatever game he's been playing recently, and he is de facto 50,000 to 90,000 people a day, their source for news. Power World, yeah, Power World. That's the Pokemon with guns, right? I was very offended when during the he was watching, what was it? Asmongold was watching the Nintendo Direct announcement, talking about the different games that are about to come out, and he saw Rhythm Heaven, the new Rhythm Heaven for Switch 2. He's like, oh, this is girl slop and skip or whatever, and I'm like, no, dude. I like this stuff. I'm a filthy casual. I bought it like the day it came out. Rhythm Heaven Groove, I think it is. Awesome gaming. It's just one button, but sometimes something that's rhythm and music oriented. I can play like Call of Duty and kind of zone out and still think about like stress about work. When you're playing a live action rhythm game, you get caught up in it, and that's exactly what I want. It is girl slop. I mean, whatever, man. I'm not recommending it, but I'm saying like things like Overcooked, Tower or something. It's the 2D like Archer game. That game and Rhythm Heaven Grove. Those are like my favorite types of games. Decoy likes an easy game. I like short, easy pop in, pop out games. Sometimes I don't have enough time to like sit down, get to a storyline. Like I really enjoyed what was that game? Ghost of Tsushima. Amazing game, cool. But I didn't have enough time to do an entire mission. I'd go away from it, come back in, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Like, how do I call the horse again? Like, I can't get the investment in these games enough. You don't think it's girl slap, you think it's a fun, casual game like Mario Kart. Exactly. Sometimes I like to pop on the new Mario Kart. I know a lot of the die-hard fans don't like the new Nintendo Switch 2 version of Mario Kart because it's got like, they say it's a drive-straight simulator, but I'm like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the scenery of what the game was, not like super technical drift, A-B swap, hop over a barrier, hop to the wall ride. It's like, no, I enjoyed the game as a kid should, which is what the what the game should be designed for. Children.
Wear-resistant ceramic plunger inside the high-pressure cylinder, which is controlled by the power system. When the
Job taking too much time. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how to get this channel to take off, and also trying to get Decoy to be okay too. Just you know, there's no manual to being an online influencer. Do I need to make a TikTok? Do I need to make Instagram shorts? What's my time best on? Should I hire somebody? Should I continue to do it myself? Should I wear a suit? Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like, nah, you just gotta have to go on your knee-jerk reaction and just try to make good content. That's all. Say the thing, Decoy. I don't know what we're talking about. Can you talk about Starburst, like the candies? I don't like that. It gets stuck in my teeth, and I get the called the canker sore, cold sore, whatever's inside, like on your gums. I can't have that. Love Jolly Ranchers, but I can't have that stuff. Apparently, ASU is now offering an influencer degree. Honestly, I could teach that. I could teach that course. They're probably gonna have some garbage professor or somebody that's never made it. Just like all the when you look up YouTube, how to make a better thumbnail or how to get 1 million subscribers, it's always from a guy that has like 200 views and like 500 subscribers. Like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Guys, stop being schizos. I mean, we got over probably 3,000 people across all the chats right now, so chat's gonna look a little schizo because it's going by too fast. Like, on screen, all you see is the specific clean platforms. You're not gonna see all the platforms on the thing because other places do not moderate what happens on the thing, and it's kind of dangerous the way it is. But I got the same platforms up there, so my chat, what I see, going by way fast. You recommend Rumble? I mean, I like Rumble as a platform. It seems pretty cool. I don't understand what the Rumble Studio thing is. I need to check in with them again. Seems like they're pretty chill. But also, I know the most muted chatters I have are from Rumble. I still see most of you guys, but some of those guys are extreme. Like, they think I am a filthy, bleeding heart liberal, and they do not like me. Those who can do, those who can teach. Exactly. That's why I feel like at this part in my career, like, I still mentor some people in their content creation journey, and they're not in this niche at all. And it's like, it's very, very, I'd say, like a paid forward scenario where it's very, there's a word, like internally satisfying. What's the word I'm looking for? But it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the word one. It's like you feel good about it. Seeing someone that wants to have a career in being an influencer and seeing them flourish. That's way better than any like career you could have for yourself, or like very fulfilling. Yeah, very Yeah, it's fulfilling. It's very nice to see people succeed on it because I really believe in this. And whenever I say, I like to help people make it on social media, it's because I scout you. People reach out to me and I used to give them like an hour of my time talking about everything over there, but it's just I can't give that one-for-one thing. And anybody selling a course about success on the internet is a scammer. I'm telling you right now. They're saying, I was successful, here's your free PDF, and then here's the course. Scammer, every single one of them. But I think with the exception of probably Daryl Leaves, he knows what he's doing, I think. Is this channel not tied to Decoy's original channel? It is. It's a companion one. I mean, it's me, but we're being more schizo, we're talking for long times. We're hitting more topics because we can do them a lot faster, but I'm not going to cross-upload a Decoy Boys channel. Short and concise, very edited commentary. This is just us going off the cuff, having a two-way conversation, and then we'll do the clips of these live streams on here. Gratifying, yeah. They make millions on selling you courses on how to make millions. Exactly. These scams have been around forever in just different forms, and social media influencing is the latest version of it. Decoys from Compton? No. Keep everything as you guys able to dox me as possible, but no, not from Compton. That is lived in the hood, but not that hood. The heck are you watching? I mean, this is just... We're getting to the next topic. Not Compton, guys. Not cathartic, no. Have I been following Kaizen at Streamer University? No, I didn't. The only thing I did watch was I watched the clip of Ludwig talking about how much money he makes on there. I don't even know who he is, but how much money he makes online, then like the top 100 streamer, top 1,000 streamer. Very, very insightful. That's why I really loved when Moist Critical talked about his earnings, and then Asmongold reacted to his earnings on there, and it was very, very cool to see how much top tier streamers make, because it's like, obviously I'm not going to make as much as them. Like, I'm like a bench player in the NBA and they're like the superstars, but gives you some sort of aspirational goals, and then also what to target the most. Like, they really were like, we're not shy about sharing, this is where you make all your money, this helps you out, this is what you need to focus on. That was very, very good of them. Like, there was a girl YouTuber that I really liked. She was in the tech space, but very, very transparent about all her earnings and how much a brand deal should cost and stuff. And I was like, that's very cool. Like, I appreciate the transparency on how profitable it is in a non-bragging way, just an objective way, because it really helps, like, guide other people's careers, including me. You have a family live in Compton, but they all claim Carson to stay out of beef. I remember when I first moved in the area. It was so funny. I told my co-workers, like, I got to a new job, and I was like, there's this place in LA that I'm looking at moving on. It seems like it's going to be cheap rent. And I told them the cross streets. Actually, just say it out. Cadillac and Corning. And immediately everybody was like, nope, no. They told me, do not move to that block. There's a very specific set of Crips that live there. They run it. You will not survive. And I was like, really? I mean, okay, cool. Like, I appreciate it, but it's like, they told me, you can tell it's a bad area when you get to the neighborhood, and one, there's gates everywhere, but two, there's colorful houses, pink, baby blue, whatever it is, because there's no homeowners association telling them, like, hey, we gotta have uniform houses to keep the property value up. It's like, no. Once you see the fences, once you see the colorful houses, you know you're the hood. And I remember dropping off a coworker in Compton, and I was like, oh shit, you guys are real. Like, you know when you're in the hood over here. I'm glad. Like, I think Cadillac and Corning's even like considered West LA, but it's still the hood. Like, the closer you get to the 10 freeway, the worse it is. Don't go south of the 10 freeway, especially off like Western, Hoover. It just gets bad real fast. Yeah. your ADD likes this channel more. I've heard people say they like Decaf Decoy more than Decoy Voice, which it should be opposite. Decaf Decoy is the more calm version. This one's the more crazy version, but it is what it is. Do I have a favorite go-to soda? In this bottle right here, I have Cherry Coke Zero. It is my favorite soda by far. But Diet Dr. Pepper is a good second. I wish I could have the glass bottle Coca-Cola with the pure Mexican sugar cane, but I just love soda so much, I would gain so much weight on it. I'm heavier than I've ever been in my life right now, but it's because I'm like maxing out on creatine, maxing out on protein. I'm really trying to see how large I can get in my old age. What's the bottle from? The bottle is the Owala bottle. Honestly, I have my tattoo artist, thanks for the compliment too. My tattoo artist told me about Owala bottles, and I was like, it's not that great. Guys, this is phenomenal. The straw that's inside that gets protected, how much it keeps things cool, and like the soda is still carbonated because whenever you open up the lid, you can hear like the sounding. These things are phenomenal. A little bit expensive, but worth every penny. You're an Olympic weightlifter at 45 years old. You can make gains well into your 50s, but the problem is I was always a very, very thin person. Like I say, freshman year high school, boxing, 5'8", 115, up to 135, but 150 like that, just a very thinly framed person. And as you know, if you don't build that crazy muscle when you're younger, you don't have the muscle memory to build it again. So it's like, this is by far the heaviest I've ever been, and that is, that's not a good look. A thin person. And that's the thing, is like, I really believe in the whole ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph thing. Not everybody can be K-pop model thin. There's some genetics involved, but you can still be the ideal version of yourself. I'm never going to be a very large muscular individual. It's just not in my DNA. So you need short form content, you got mid, you got long. Now you do short form, and I'm still trying to figure out what it is. Too many people want to say, plug all your stuff in AI and I'll knock it out, and I'm like, no. I've reached out to Asmongold's editor, I reached out to Emiru's editor, I reached out to some other people, and still trying to conceptualize how this works.
State job law. Everything you need and everything you did.
How do you beat the LA heat? I'm not in LA right now. Where I'm at is a good 10 degrees cooler than where I was in LA. I think right now where I used to live, you're like 110 today, especially with this El Nino year. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. It's kind of still like humid, but I'm thoroughly enjoying not the idea that I would get outside at my old apartment and I'm like, I'm gonna go walk to Starbucks, and just, it hurts to be outside, it's so hot. Do I plan to leave California? Maybe at one point, but I have younger nephews and nieces where I still want to be around while they're here. I mean, my oldest niece is like gonna go away, do the college thing, so it's like, okay, I could easily see myself, especially if my parents move out of state too. If all the kids end up going to college and doing their own thing, there's really nothing that staples me to where I live now. Maybe I go to a Tennessee or a Nevada or a Texas and just say, you know what, I'll have a small place I can go to in California if I want to enjoy the good weather, but I would enjoy my my tax savings much more. They're hard to leave family, that's what it is. But get back to topics. Over in America, there are certain places there are certain places where you can no longer be patriotic. And how did we get here?
Damn. I can't come down here and just like observe? Who said that? Damn. I can't come down here and just like observe? Who said that? I'm just saying. You just saying what? I'm just saying that. You just saying what? I just said that.
Now, one thing I would say, he is wearing the Meta sunglasses, so it's got the camera right here. And you don't know what happened before this. Could he have been shouting and antagonizing people and saying a whole bunch of mean things to everybody? We don't know. And whenever something starts mid-conversation, I'm a little bit hesitant to believe everything.
Get your dumb ass on. How come this start problems? That's what you're trying to do. I didn't start no problems. I'm educated, not have guns. I got a
and everything. Just the state of the public sidewalks over here lets you know everything about this community.
Fucking flag, bro. I got a flag.
of this country.
I got a flag. If I get shot over a flag, that looks bad on you.
That's a problem.
Everybody's still mad about American flag.
You trying to run him over? No, he didn't. He just kind of drove at him. Okay. And that's bad situational awareness. This guy's been antagonizing you, drives his car right up to you. Don't do the whole, like, let me get a camera angle of this or whatever. You need to be walking away because, sad to say, I'd rather be wrong and alive than right and gone. How is this a problem? Yeah,
call police!
You do need to run. Police! Unfortunately, you do run, guy.
Call police!
He's wearing a vest. I wonder if that's actually Kevlar.
This shit hurts my heart, man.
Yeah, how is this America?
I can't even sit here without feeling like I gotta roll my fucking window up and lock my door because somebody walks by.
That's where we live now.
It's a fucking disgrace. No one can fucking have kids safe down here, especially if you're white, I guess. This shit's a joke. What the fuck has this state come to? I look around every day, I'm like, there's so much exposing I can fucking do. This is a play place for any content creator. I can't get to anything that I want to. There's so much.
What crime is this guy committing? I mean, he's just a white guy walking down the street with an American flag. And not to point out the obvious here, but here you have a black man who's showing...
What is it? Yeah, he tries to walk through the American flag, can't even sit in his car. It is a disgrace because it's one thing to be waving the flag of your country. But you're seeing like this over here in, what is this, in England. They're waving a non-British flag. How did we get here? How soon until...
What is this for? Is that good? Is that good? Okay,
wait, and they're also getting a police escort for whatever the heck this is. In America, you cannot wave an American flag without getting physically assaulted, apparently. But in the UK, which is, I always say, European problems are just like 6 to 9 months before ours because we're a little bit behind on how much newcomers we take. But just how quickly are we going to see this in America? The time is coming? I mean, yeah.
It's like a religious pilgrimage.
Pilgrimage?
Historical figure.
Yeah, okay.
Google the update on my website.
Perfect, thank you.
I don't know. What is this music? What is this thing? Is it a parade? I don't know. What's the sign say right there, actually? Fill the earth with justice, the Medi, as it will be filled with oppression, more, I guess, left-wing movements, and equity through the Medi, as it will be filled with oppression and injustice. So, does anybody know what this is? This is a religious march, wearing religious garb. You couldn't tell by what the content of this march is, but it is definitely in the UK. Yeah, this is getting out of hand because over in the UK, a guy's just trying to clean the ground, just trying to clean his community, and people are yelling at him.
What's that, sorry? Was this your shop?
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude or anything, but maybe instead of telling me to do it...
What's that, sorry? I think this guy's just a volunteer, too.
What's that, sorry?
This one. Look at all the much in here.
This is too much rubbish.
Yeah, it's bad.
Not around here. This area is rubbish everywhere, bro. The rats are bigger than a cat.
Really?
I swear, Dan. This is actually quite good.
You serious?
Yeah.
You wasting your time. You know what to do with
Yeah,
that?
you are wasting your time.
Put it all back from where you got it from.
Put it in the bin if you want.
Yeah, you can tell you live in the hood whenever you see shopping carts hanging out everywhere and just abandoned couches sitting everywhere.
clean everything from front to forward, 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Very useless.
Because they don't want to clean. They like living in filth.
Yeah. You can help if you want. Is this your shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to clean stuff because I'm doing the street today. But you know, I don't want to be rude or anything. But maybe instead of telling me to do it, you could do it. You know. But
Guy kind of seems like a busybody, like HOA people that sit there and say, hey, you want organizing your recyclables, or your garbage cans need to be picked up every Monday afternoon. Nobody likes a busybody when he got stuff to do. But again, he should be free to do this in his country.
Oh.
Well, that's
right.
the subs.
But I'm just saying,
I don't counsel.
No, I'm not council.
It's a guy.
So yeah, that he said to me like, can you clean there as well? If it's your shop.
No. This one, no. Normally, I am cleaning there. No,
yeah.
This area.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude, but yeah. Normally, I just respond and go, yeah.
Which is crazy. Hold on, let me see that sign right there.
Well, if it's your shop.
No. This one, no. Normally, I am cleaning there. No,
yeah.
This area.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude, but
4-bedroom house to rent, £1,200 per month. Where is this? Wait, 4-bedroom house, $1,200. I have no idea how this is priced correctly.
No, yeah. Normally I just respond and go, yeah, of course I'll clean it. But if you think about it,
Do you know who is the biggest dropper of litter?
No.
Council. If Mr. Trump was...
Oh, this is true. guys, our community's so bad because Donald Trump did it. I kept on walking over to Santa Monica, seeing it slowly deteriorate over time, showing all the empty buildings, and I even have a video I posted of a guy with a bench with all these flyers saying, no Donald Trump in Santa Monica. Defeat Donald Trump. And I'm like, Santa Monica has been top to bottom Democrat run, from the state, from the county, the city, everybody. Democrat for decades. And he's looking at all these abandoned buildings and these junkies on the street and the loss of economy, but he's still sitting there trying to defeat Donald Trump.
Come and say it around here. Mr. Trump would describe it as a shit.
Would be. And I keep on seeing on Reddit like, oh, F America, it's a shithole country. And I don't know what they're saying. They're trying to counteract what Donald Trump says about other countries by making America the shithole country. But it's sad. It's like, if it's such a shithole, why do you guys all want to come here? Why do you all insist in living in America and not what you guys find so superior? The countries and the flags you all want to wave around, they're so great, they're so amazing, your identity's wrapped up in it so much, you just demand you don't live there, but you want to be in fascist America.
Alright, something very obvious needs to be pointed out.
Yeah, they're all upset about that, but it's sad because the UK has that, but now, Spencer Pratt says, the third worldification of Los Angeles is nearly complete. Increasingly, cartels are running entire neighborhoods in the open, and a lot of people don't understand is the food carts aren't just sometimes it could be a poor guy just trying to provide for his family, but more likely it's someone that was brought over here that is trying to pay off a debt through being a manual laborer selling fruits and hot dogs on the street. Not saying this is necessarily cartel activity, but now they're saying soon cops won't even be able to enter large sectors of the city. We should feel lucky we can still film them.
Hi. Don't trip, I'll get you license plates. I know where you live.
It's just the threat. Oh, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. They're not gonna do shit. But they're trying to intimidate more vulnerable appearing people. Yeah, me finding her address connected with Clayton. But yeah, no, we've seen this before where it's just like they're doing something so legal and they feel so comfortable, but don't you dare be near them. Don't you dare have your cell phone out because they run the streets and they know the police aren't coming. They know, sad to say, in Los Angeles, the bums and the very, very violent drug users, they know they pretty much have 20 minutes to do whatever they want because they know the police aren't coming, for at the very least until 20 minutes later, if at all. But also, they're not looking for them. You say, hey, it was a junkie guy, he had a backpack and dirty shoes and he had track marks on his arms and he was very frail and thin. He attacked me. They're not looking for that guy. The city doesn't care about that, but you've already signaled to them that it's essentially the purge. All crime is allowed just don't cross a imaginary line. England still has a chance of change, but the time is running out fast. It's if it's not already expired, because I don't know, like, what can they do to save their culture right now when if America doesn't have the heart for mass deportations, I'm guessing England won't either. UK's way out of time. I think UK will just become a cautionary tale of what could happen to us next, and we gotta wake up to it right now. Millions must go, they should, but then as soon as the deportations start, and it looks bad, and some people that are agitators lose their life, will people like Joe Rogan, they have a Joe Rogan over there, will people like Joe Rogan suddenly say, you know what, I don't like the way these deportations look, stop them all. Well, ICE can't be just separating families. It's like, well, if millions gotta go, millions gotta go. It's gonna look bad, but if you don't have the heart for it, then I guess just let society melt, because you don't like bad imagery. You say no one gets deported. Honestly, I feel like the low saying the hostile environment strategy is the best way. You can't physically pick these people up and send them away, but if you say, we want immigration, we want newcomers, if you are providing for your family and you're working hard and doing something for the betterment of America and assimilating, by all means you can stay. But if you are on welfare, we're cutting that. If you are in social housing, we're cutting that. EBT, all that stuff. If you are taking more than you are contributing, you will now starve. It sounds pretty sad, but I think there's going to be a lot of self-reporting and asking to go home if suddenly there's no more handouts. Yeah, people being ended in the streets looks bad, but honestly, they're never going to show you the bad aspects of having illegals in the country that have long rap sheets. They're just going to cherry pick out the instances of, hey, good lost their life, pretty lost their life. Don't we feel bad for those people? It's like, you know, if that trends, that's all they see. That's all they're going to react to. Because if you see something like what happened over in Berlin, the media is always going to cherry pick how they frame tragic incidents. The BBC. 1 gone, 16 injured at Pride event after a vehicle crashes in the crowd. Reuters. Vehicle mows down crowd at Berlin Pride Festival. New York Times. Car goes into people at Pride event. The Guardian. 1 gone, 16 injured after van crashes. Not ends, not murders, but just incidentally crashes. We don't know what it is, but the one thing we keep on seeing over here, which not in English, so it's hard to say the translation, but if you're going by what Twitter says, a young singer drops a mask at a memorial event for the attack at the CSD. She had hoped that the was not a no Kanake, I don't know what that is, but a Christian, white person, who drove into people in the car. Intersectionality, such as saying, I just wish it was somebody from the far right that attacked our people. This is insane. Can't confirm it, but we're seeing more instances of it.
Ihre Community fühlt sich natürlich vor allem von rechts bedroht.
Obviously, it's not going to be in our language, but they're reporting that it says mainstream media journalists from Berlin, after the attack in Berlin, says the queer community naturally feels threatened, above all, by right-wing forces, meaning to say the same thing. They're angry about Trump, they're afraid of right Christian nationalism, but they're not afraid of a certain other very, very extreme religion coming in and taking over their country, or even attacking them. They still have this thing the media's trained them to say, oh, one religion's bad, but the other religion's good.
As the CSD organisers in Berlin, we are distraught about what happened yesterday. Our thoughts are with the victims, their loved ones, and everybody who has been affected by this terrible event. We would like to offer our thanks to all volunteers and guests who wanted to demonstrate peacefully with us. Many of these people...
This is the mayor?
suffered much emotional stress yesterday. What they experienced will have long-lasting effects. We are trying to offer emotional support, psychological support. This is needed for our team as well. I'm grateful to my team. Thank you. We are grateful to all people who assisted, all first responders. Our mayor has rightly praised the collaboration with the police. The quick professional response was decisive in this context. We are also grateful to the Fire Brigade, Berlin Senate, all authorities who have been involved in this collaboration. The CSD organization in Berlin stands for solidarity, respect, coexistence.
And that great phrasing, coexistence, respect. But does a certain group of people not respect your existence and is a fundamental threat to you being alive? Should probably be something we address, but I mean, apparently they're not allowed to.
City Open to the World was on the street yesterday. What we need now, we believe, is to take a measured approach to support everyone affected. We will not get involved with any speculation. We will wait for the result of the police investigation.
Okay, fair enough.
Our basic approach has not changed. We reject all forms of violence. Ideologies, be they religious or other extremists, are trying to suppress people. We do not want this deed to be instrumentalized for political ends.
And there it is. We see this in America too. Yes, I was victimized by a certain person of a certain identity. But like, what was it? The Democrat guy saying, if I get murdered and it's an illegal, tell my family I didn't care that it was an illegal. Like, they're genuinely, like, imagining their horrendous end, but already trying to get around it, saying, yeah, I know maybe there's a more propensity, maybe there's more of a likelihood or a statistical likelihood that I'll be ended in this specific fashion. But don't let the evil right-wing Christians use this against my approved narrative.
We don't want any groups to be placed under suspicion for this. People are trying to divide our society and set some people against others. As a CSD in Berlin, we will not allow this.
Yeah, well, the full story first. Sky News is garbage reporting. We always knew that. But then, now they're even just trying to say it's white men that did this, apparently.
Are you really sick of this? I'm getting really tired of having to repeat myself over and over again. So today, in Berlin, there was an attack. A van drove through a crowd.
Again, I don't know why you gotta make it about you, but can't help themselves sometimes.
Crowd of people celebrating Berlin Pride Parade that they have every year. It's a huge parade.
And I wonder how long they're going to be able to do this in European countries and in certain American cities that have this. Because they've already started to ban the pride flag in certain American cities once the city council and government gets taken over by very fundamental religious fundamentalists. And again, I say you vote for who you want to support, but you should be educated on what you're voting for. How long until, one, they can't do this anymore, and two, they have to have those pillars. They gotta have those barricades saying cars can't go into this Christmas parade because we have a huge uptick of vehicles going into them, but we don't want to address who's driving those vehicles.
It's one of the biggest. And they injured, I think, at this time I'm making this video, this is subject to change, 17 people, and one person is dead.
Tragedy.
Okay, so it's a breaking story. There are going to be things that are going to come out and change throughout the life of the story.
Yeah.
Average. So the suspect is an Islamic extremist. That's their suspect right now. That's what I read, okay? I'm not going to say anything about the rest of the Muslim population because of actions of this one person. But what I can say is the people who were celebrating about this were all white men. You know?
No. I don't see any white men, some MAGAs. Find me the video of them celebrating that this occurred. I haven't seen it, but if you do find that, I think all of us are going to say, hey, that's a terrible person. We don't need that in our society. But pretty sure there's a group of people that are celebrating this act of terror, but it's not MAGA.
White men with crosses in their profiles.
Where? Find me this!
Because we've all seen it. We've all seen how you guys react.
Okay, yeah, the wrap-up smear. I've said this thing's happening. I can't provide evidence, but I've reported on it. Now, you've heard me report on it. Now let's all just kind of circle the wagons and say, yeah, this is the thing that's happening. You can't see it, but it's definitely happening.
Back towards gay people and how you wish harm on them constantly. I get that constant hate.
Again. Islamic terror attack ends the life of one person and injures all these people at the Pride Parade. She makes this about white people, white Christians, or they did the most dangerous thing. Literally just saw an instance of this physical violence on her people. But the first thing she does, she doesn't know she's going to bat, but she is going to bat to cover for Islamic terror. Because she's not willing to just say, hey, they're bad. Throw this guy in prison forever. That should be the end of the video right there. That guy did this thing. There's probably peaceful people from the religion, but this guy's the topic of the story.
On my videos, especially about trans people, you're not going to hide behind another scapegoat group and pretend that they're actually the violent ones.
Find me the instances of mass attacks on these people in America, because to my understanding, what was the Pulse incident? This as well? Might be mistaken, might be crossing up with something else. And a lot of the instances are the other way around. People from that group going to churches and ending the lives of kids. We do have a problem here, but it just doesn't fit your worldview of what the problem is.
When it's you hold the same exact beliefs that this man who did this attack.
So you can't blame the rest of the people of that religion, of his religion that carried out the attack, but you can blame the whites of a different religion for that attack. The level of mental gymnastics here is astounding and almost impressive that you can come up to this conclusion. And sad to say is, the internet's forever, you can have a bad take and it just happens, but this is forever going to be attached to you.
Dead. And you're trying to distance yourself from it. And you know why you're trying to do that? It's because you're ashamed.
Wait. So they simultaneously sharing it on and trying to hide? This isn't us. We love it. But you can't reason with idiots. You just can't. You can't teach a rat calculus. It's beyond their comprehension.
And you should be.
They really think, I just cooked right now. Guys. I went off on the internet. No, it's so bad. But then, what is it? Naomi Sebentuch said, migrant women commit more crimes than German men. Stop blaming men, which is insane to me. Like, I think I saw another statistic saying certain ethnicities, impoverished people, certain people's rich population commit more crimes than white poor people. And I was like, wow, I was always taught and was to the understanding that a lot of crime was rooted in financial distress. Like, people that are poor commit more crimes than rich people, but no, this is all very, very eye-opening once you break free from the mainstream media. But they say, per capita, all offenses, German men at 2,600, and even Ukrainian, which is also another white country, 2,900, but everything else, a lot of this is going to be from the Middle East or Africa, 3,000, significantly more. And this is negligible because this is could be a rounding error here, but then some of it is significant. But again, they're saying community notes just nuked the New York Times, where the New York Times said
killed the suspect who allegedly drove a car through a pride parade yesterday in Berlin, and what authorities say was an Islamic terror attack. 21-year-old Abdul Balut is accused of killing at least one and injuring 29 others. Authorities.
And I guess the community note says New York Times car plowed through park during Berlin's biggest pride event, killing at least one person, injuring more than a dozen others, city officials said on Sunday. And then the community note says, headline suggests a car had agency and chose to try to kill these people. The reality was done by an Islamic terrorist. It was his choice, not the cause. Not the cause. And it's sad because we saw this same exact framing with the Waukesha Christmas parade attack. They kept on saying, red SUV, not a guy with a criminal record. They can't help themselves.
day he has Lebanese roots and is allegedly tied to the country's, quote, Islamist scene. The suspect had previously been investigated for planning a terror attack and faced
their version of known to authorities.
Legal trouble in both Lebanon and Germany. Jason, this is not the first car attack that we have seen in Germany. You know, where do the authorities go from here?
And the more they have the media paint this as a car problem, the more they're not going to be able to handle actually solving it. They knew this guy was known to authorities, had connections to their terror groups back home. This should have been handled much differently, earlier, and these guys would be alive still.
It's so sad because there are families that are grieving lost loved ones. I mean, it just the sheer terror, it did what it was intended to do, which is create terror. But if people that believe in the Pride movement, whether they're and people that are Christians, people that are Jewish, people that believe in anything other than Islam, think that some of these Islamists will live in unison with others, there's a lot of them that won't. And there's a lesson to be learned there. And you got to be really careful here because there is an aggressive nature. It's not everybody, okay? I don't want to be, taking a sweeping generality.
And I think that I even have to use a qualifier as well. But it's sad that we have to use a qualifier because it should just be common knowledge. When I say a Asian guy shot up a college, I'm not saying all Asian guys do this. It's just like, no, an Asian guy did it. I'm pointing at said Asian guy that was seen doing it. He's a scumbag. Throw him in prison forever. We should start having that to default. We're not saying everybody from the religion, but don't make it so we can't talk about anybody from the religion.
Everybody, but this routinely happens time and time again. It's almost comical to me that somebody who believes in the Pride movement also believes in the Islamist movement. Because
it's bad how much they're trying to desperately cover it up. But I mean, that's the left-wing narrative in a nutshell. Like you see from Reddit Lies, r/feminism says Massachusetts man doesn't seem like a very American name. I don't know what that is, but climbed through a woman's window while she slept and assaulted her. He got a $1,000 bond and he has multiple prior arrests for whipping a woman with his belt in his front yard. And it said, unbelievable women are treated this way still. And it's like, yeah, feminism should be against a girl getting attacked in her own bedroom by a person with a long criminal history. Feminists should be outraged. But then the moderators deleted this from r/feminism, meaning to say they find it more important to protect protected classes and make sure we don't have racism or anti-immigration values over protecting the lives of girls, innocent people. They've gone so far in trying to protect the narrative, they don't care if you actually get run over by a car at a Pride festival. And it's sad because we don't want this in our country. We don't need to live like this, and yet we live like this. Yeah, selective outrage, exactly. Yeah, self-ending empathy, it is very sad.
Let's say you're going to run 50 per shift, daytime, afternoon, night. So
Aslan seems upset that Hassan's shacking up with Sneeko now. I mean, that's a likely thing. Sad to say, I think Sneeko's just the ultimate grifter. Like, everybody says, oh, Tim's a grifter, Aslan's a grifter, whatever. It's like, no, I've never seen a person move from movement to movement to movement. Like, I think it was before he, like, converted to Islam. I think it's like, after he converted to Islam, he tried to become, like, a looks maxer. And before that, he was, doing man-on-the-street interviews. Not in support of Trump, but seemed kind of open to him. So it's like, yeah, whatever is the current wave, he's got windsock, not politics, like windsock niches online with whatever is kind of trending at the time. He's going to capitalize on it. And obviously, I don't really know if he's very talented. I would just say he's relevant and he's tweeting about him, so obviously he knows how to make waves online. And if that's all you have to offer, then I guess he's doing a good job at it. Yeah.
Because Iranians said since day one, they said that the casualties, the numbers that the Trump administration and Second War is putting out were not accurate.
What's going on with the ICE? Yeah, I actually kind of see this. What's going on with the ICE protests? Because USAID is gone. but somehow they're still protesting over in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Relax your wrist, sir. There you go.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. On his way out. Gone.
They're protecting a Nazi and they're arresting him.
Oh, you're protecting a Nazi, obviously. Everybody against me is a Nazi, and you're not going to sit here and body shame somebody. But point out the elephant in the room that is somebody of this BMI. And I'm not trying to be mean to him, make fun of him, whatever. People can be all shapes and sizes. But I don't think you're stopping many Nazis. I don't think you're beating fascism. I don't think you're going after a tyrannical government or evil ICE agents when you're built like this. I think this is all just virtue signaling, and if you want to make an impact, you need to be the physique that can make an impact.
It sucks, doesn't it?
You don't have to say anything until you're legal. Somebody, you don't say legal observers.
I have a cruiser out card item.
There's legal observers out there. The only thing I understand is other people get arrested.
Is that the DSA shirt? So she's really wearing a communist shirt, a high-vis vest, and has Joker-colored hair. This really isn't saying, hey kids, don't you want to be a part of this movement? Look how cool and hip and with the times we are. We got this gentleman and this girl.
Getting legal observers.
Yep.
Where's the law guy? I'm not going
Sorry. I have to take your hat and your glasses off.
yeah. I have.
They're going to be right in the front seat, and they're going to go with your property, okay?
Sure. Can you grab, let's see, my keys in my back pocket?
Okay.
Right back anything on you? Right. Step away from my purse. Sure.
And again, you don't want to sit here and say you guys are making fun of his appearance and everything, but it's... I mean, not make fun of him, make the point of... Winners don't typically get out there and protest like this. If he was happy about something in his life, had something to look forward to, giant job promotion, hot date with his wife, big vacation coming up, he would not have the free time to just be antagonizing ICE, which has still yet to have stopped a single ICE arrest or deportation. Yeah, social outcast, exactly.
What do you say you need?
She has the National Lawyers Guild Legal Observers. And good God, I hate legal observers. I remember a long time ago, I was just working security at just a regular store, arresting a homeless guy that stole some small amount from us, but it's like, hey, store wants to do some paperwork, I'm going to help them detain this guy or whatever. But a legal observer comes up and says, I'm just filming you guys because I'm going to represent this and make sure you're not abusing this poor homeless guy. And I'm like, you're adding a whole bunch else to this situation, and it's like, he's been peaceful, I've been peaceful, and now you're trying to stick your nose in this, trying to say, like, I'm assuming you're evil, so I can possibly get some money out of this. These people need lives.
Thank you.
Why are you guys so angry and violent?
Why are you so angry and
I'm
violent?
not
Why are you pushing me?
I'm trying to video.
You're pushing a woman.
The Oppression Olympics is still alive and well.
Don't touch me.
They're still bickering. This is like two siblings, but they're adults. What does it say? No kings in America. There's no kings in America. Do you care about... Remember when the No Kings protest was a thing? But they're like, you can't bring the No Kings protest to Canada because they got a king. And when the king comes from England to visit, where's the No Kings protesters? It's all garbage. And you having a handwritten sign like this just makes me feel like you're a literal mental infant. You've never gotten past the stage of being in middle school, where you made a poster saying, save the environment and don't cut down the rainforests. You didn't save a single rainforest, but you felt important, and you were still in that middle school lifestyle.
Does anyone else also want to...
These cops literally have to babysit these idiots.
No.
The cops like, get a life.
I'm a little pussy. Fuck you, you fat bitch.
What? Yeah, the reason why everyone hates white guys, by the way.
Everyone hates white guys?
Whatever.
There's not a woman alive.
Guys, we don't have enough time on Earth to be doing this. Story time.
Your crotch, guys.
Grabbing my...
Let all that happen.
They want to be known for something historical. Unfortunately, there are morons who don't realize that advocating for everyone's destruction, they're selfish. Exactly. They want to feel like, I was on the right side of history. I'm marching the modern-day civil rights movement. I did this thing, not knowing it's entirely fabricated by the left-wing agenda, which is sad. Be going bankrupt since USAID went under.
And we never have any problems down here that he's in. I'm just mad you let him yell the N-word, bro.
Oh, you can... Mean words are mean, but they're not illegal.
This dude said I'm hateful because I'm America first. He said America is hateful.
Why is he hateful? Because he's America first.
So there's this thing called advantage, where you've got people in other countries, other places.
What?
And you hate them.
No. Loving America is like a Mexican loving Mexico. Koreans can love Korea, but the only time that saying, hey, a Japanese guy loves Japan isn't making a statement on Nigerians. But when you love America, that's making a statement against other races.
Hey, we don't hate them. We just care about our country first. We put our country in priority over any foreign national, over any foreign nation. So how is that hateful? American. I'm an American, bro. You don't think Japanese people are putting their people first? You don't
Sorry, I gotta take off.
Should be controversial.
Alright, so there's a crush of police from Kirkland, Washington here, your private security. So there's a tremendous amount of security here this evening for the Erica Kirk event.
Yeah, it is the protesters getting a hand, but again, USAID went belly up, and then now you're seeing protests look like this. Like, what's the story about like the Japanese on like those outlier islands that the war was ended? Like they nuked a couple cities and then they surrendered, but a couple small pockets of Japan had soldiers still fighting the war, not knowing that the apparatus was done. They don't know that everybody else was getting paid, and yet they're still out there fighting a unwinnable war. Ice out, keep us alive, arrest roulette. Not one more penny for ICE and Border Patrol thugs. Again, I'm certain they have a locked door at their home. I'm certain they have gates around there. I'm certain they know what borders are, but they just are too foreign documented. We love our immigrant neighbors. Abolish ICE. Yeah, so bad. It's so tiring, but then you have a liberal white woman breaks down in tears after saying F ICE, only get flooded with thousands of comments supporting ICE.
I do content creation and I love it.
It doesn't look like you love doing content creation. It looks like you're pretty miserable, and again, it is rough to do current events, but I mean, you gotta have some thick skin for it.
Mother posted a photo yesterday.
It's such a loving post saying, at the Supreme Court, Stephen Miller, certain country, colonialism, corporate America, the Epstein class just lets me know that you are totally controlled by the left-wing narrative. The billionaires, it's time we revolt, and this is her standing in front on rollerblades, standing in front of a one of those places that you buy ice. So brave and bold and impactful for you to post this. Like, why would you even do this? 291 likes with 581 comments. I think this is Facebook. Yeah, I don't think this is working out the way you thought it was. So you have no problem saying, hey, Stephen Miller in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has, what is it? I would say a majority liberal justices, just the way things have been shaken down. But you are angry at the Supreme Court, so you can dish it. You can say F ICE, all the people just trying to provide for their family. But if they ever give you criticism for what your ideas were, something that you are a content creator, you proudly put that out there. You can't take the hate comments. Because the real world isn't Reddit. Well, you know what? Yes, Angelo. Luxury beliefs. That's exactly what this whole...
So a lot of officers that I see in the videos, they choose or elect to conduct business from the driver's side. I was always trained in my department passenger side. There are some benefits side both, but I'll explain from the passenger side. If the driver elects to exit the vehicle and come at you, they don't have a direct path to you. If you have to bail from the vehicle and engage the person, normally it's a busy street. The passenger side also provides cover of the engine block if you are engaged with the person in gunfire.
Hey, so car smells like, and he was in the opposite lane on Seville Road. Pretty sure I had the, but I don't think it's alcohol.
Okay. How far is Seville Road are you?
4951. I'm right here next to Destiny Lane.
Destiny, a little bit better. Are you this side of 13 years or that side?
What side are you on?
I'm on the
other side?
I'm on the hospital.
I'm up here, past Alfred McCammon towards Albertown, towards Burnet Station.
Okay.
If you pass Alfred, come on past Alfred McCammon, you'll see my lights.
Okay, I'm on the way.
Alright, thanks brother, I appreciate it.
So she's asking for another unit to come and assist her in background. Very, very good stuff. I want to talk about the night vision and the illumination of yourself inside a vehicle. Most of my career, I worked at night. Now you see that her car is very much illuminated because there's a dome light that's on because she's looking at paperwork and things that she has to do. One thing that you can do to help protect and preserve your night vision is you can put like a sliver of red cellophane over that dome light and your interior of your vehicle is now illuminated red, and that helps protect your night vision, and then you're also not as illuminated inside the vehicle when you have lights on. The other thing I would like to take note of is it looks like some kind of air freshener that's hanging from the rearview mirror. I don't know why it's there, but it's a good idea to get as many things out of your field of view as you possibly can.
I don't know, Nicole, you check off this here, please. Did you figure that paperwork out, brother? Oh, okay. You got the card there?
I got a bunch of them.
A bunch of them?
They're all phones.
Okay. I got you.
You said, go ahead, I'll see you right here.
Hey! Hey, my name's Shelby. I work for the Blount County Sheriff's Office. Nice to meet you. Nice to hear you. I'd say nice to meet you, but we're not next to each other.
So this is an interesting exchange. This officer or deputy elects to utilize her first name. Some people do that. It's disarming to some degree. And the conversation that's going on between everyone seems incredibly cordial at this point. Something tactical that the deputy did that I really, really like is that 3 times she approached on the driver's side, then she went to the passenger side, because now at least you're going to give a different look to the driver of the vehicle. It's a tactical choice for the most part many times, and I like the fact that she had the mindset to do that. I'm not a huge fan of the positioning at the window like this, but it's her call. Her stop.
Yeah, that's okay. I understand. It happens.
Well, what was the one tag that show up, right?
It doesn't come back with the tag. A lot of times it will come back with the tag. It didn't come back with the tag. That's the only reason I'm asking you for it. There's that half. There's your old ones.
What did you say, my mom?
What didn't come back?
The insurance. It's okay. I don't know. I just put my hair up and she said I swear, so that's alright.
Here you go. Let's see this. See what we can figure out.
She said you probably tired of my hair. I'm tired. My hair ain't that good.
Yeah. How many kids you got, bro?
5.
5?
Yeah.
That's too many.
I just let my 15-year-old game and he won't stand watch the varsity.
Yeah.
And he has therapy in the morning. I just had surgery on my knee.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's not good.
I'm just literally just calling him out to tell her that
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to bring her clothes tonight. I bring them in the morning.
I got you.
Well, I don't know. I guess I can just hand her all this stuff.
That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. I got you. You got like 15 insurance cards, so you're good. Okay. I got you. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I am gonna have you step out, hang out with me. So I smoke in the car. Have you ever smoked in this car? Okay, you don't smoke nothing? Has anybody ever smoked in the car? Okay. Okay, I got you. Okay. Well, let's smell it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you step out and hang out with me. Okay. Our partner's gonna get here and search as long as everything's good. I'll let you know. Okay.
Don't look at me like that now.
Okay. Don't do like what?
She's trying to say she smells. Well, I'm like, you know I don't smoke. Nobody I know smoke.
I didn't accuse you of smoking.
Backpacks and smoke. We really just
Okay, this is really interesting because this is a pivotal point in the interaction. The demeanor of the driver changes when the deputy says, I want you to step out of the vehicle. I smell. Now, this is the question that I ask because there are two very critical things that occurred. We revealed that we smell and that we want them to step out of the vehicle, but there's also something else. We also said that we have another unit coming, but they're not there yet. Is it a better, safer practice to potentially wait until the other unit gets there before we decide to do this? Because this is a lesson that a person who seems like they're being incredibly cool and doesn't give us any indication that they're gonna flip, that once that we show our hand, they flip. Again, this is just something educational to learn from when we watch these kinds of things.
Exactly. It's been a leather.
Maine has no better fighter than Senator Susan Collins. She took on Washington to save our lobster industry, delivered billions to protect our shipyard jobs, and wrote the Social Security Fairness Act, crossing party lines to deliver for our seniors. The most bipartisan senator in America year after year, Senator Collins is someone we can be proud of, her character and her results. Call Senator Susan Collins. Thank her for always voting for Maine families.
Bonkers. Okay, Chuck. Okay. You got this. Bonkers is not liable for the actions of your pet. Sorry. With any good snacky snacks for dogs. Better when it's bonkers.
Matthews Brothers Windows have always been about using the past to secure the future. For over 170 years, we've been obsessively committed to creating windows with a strict eye on both quality and aesthetics. Our Sanford Hills line of windows thrive on a combination of both historically accurate beauty as well as industry-leading technology and performance. As the oldest window manufacturer in the country, we've never stopped improving, and that's why we're the new standard. Find a dealer near you today at MatthewsBrothers.com.
It's never been smoking. Like it's me, man. My own black, and they just being messy.
It ain't got nothing to do with that, brother.
I guarantee you what a dog right here for the dog on this corner. Okay. So I'm gonna sit right here.
Our dogs don't get like hit on, and there's not a dog coming out here. It's me and my partner.
Well, I'm refusing this.
No, there's no refusing. So when I smell was the odor. I have probable cause to search for it.
I need to get a search, ma'am. I'm refusing a search.
There's no refusing.
There's no. Don't get your phone. Let's tell me to arrest you.
Okay. My partner is not a dog. My partner's a person. That's not a dog. Okay, that's fine. You can't refuse a search.
Why can't I refuse a search?
Because I've got probable cause to search the vehicle because of the smell. Okay. I'm not trying to be messy with you, brother. I'm trying to make this easy. Okay?
I love you, Mama. Yes, ma'am.
So it's really interesting that he's so adamant about not having his vehicle searched. But he'll let the dog go around the vehicle, but he says, I don't want the vehicle searched. This is really interesting. The other thing is that he says, I love you, Mama, which my negotiator hat is always on whenever I'm listening to conversations. And you wonder if this person is like, love you, and is this like kind of terminal type thing? I don't know. But these are things that one must listen to and put through a filter, especially when you watch this to learn in the aftermath.
I don't know why they're doing this, man. I'm just trying to go home. I literally just left your house. I literally just took a video so I can show you everything that everybody did with the
Kenny?
I'm not stepping out. I'm refusing to search.
Okay, you're refusing to step out of the vehicle?
I'm refusing to search.
Okay, so step out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle. Come back here and stand with me.
I'm not.
335. I don't know if he's in the car.
I'm
Just
gonna get
step
it
out.
So at that point, where we're continuing to say step out, do we really want him out of the vehicle? Or do we want to just step back from him and contain him? There are a lot of different options to think about. The other thing is she gave good radio traffic. I got one refusing. The unit that's coming to is going to roll code, meaning lights and siren, to that location once you hear it. Because now, driver has now escalated to a point where they're refusing a lawful command. Pennsylvania versus NIMS. This officer is legally within her right to ask him to step out of the vehicle during this car stop. And additionally, at the time of this incident, it was also legal that if you smell the odor of come from the vehicle, that gives you the PC to search it. So she's well within her legal rights. We're just going to talk about some tactical things that we see.
I don't have a dog. I don't have a dog to get. Okay? And if I had a dog, it doesn't hit on, I'm telling you. Okay, I didn't say you did, brother. I said it smells like your car. I have probable cause to search your car. Kenny, step out from me. Step out from me, Kenny.
Baby, the police got me pulled over. They threatened me to get out the car. I'm not getting out the car.
Kenny, just get out the car, man. I'm not trying to make this difficult.
I'm making it difficult.
I'm not making it difficult. I'm not being racist. I'm asking you. I don't have a dog, sir.
These folks, I don't smoke.
Okay, I didn't say you smoke.
I don't smoke.
Kenny, I never accused you of smoking.
You saying I gotta get out this car? I'm not. I'm refusing.
Yeah, I am saying you have to get out of the car.
I'm refusing.
You can't refuse to search. I have probable cause to search you.
You have a dog. You can't just say you smell.
Yeah, that's how the law works, Kenny.
No, it don't.
That's how the law works, brother.
I'm down here on some River Road, baby. Like, this is not right, man. I'm really not doing nothing wrong. I'm really on my
You were on the wrong side of the road, brother.
baby.
You're on the wrong side of the road. That's why I stopped you.
I ain't doing nothing wrong.
Kenny, man, I just need you to get out of the car, brother.
I'm not getting out the car.
All you have to do is step out and say, I don't have a dog to get, brother.
You could have just gave me a ticket and said, I don't smoke.
I don't have a dog to get here, okay? I don't have a dog to search your car. I do not have a dog. I can't help you there. You know, I'd like to have a dog. I don't have a dog.
I'm on some River Road, baby. Just come down some River Road like 2 minutes.
I just need you to step out of the car, Kenny.
I'm refusing to search.
Okay, so what's going to happen if you don't step out of the car? We're going to have to drag you out of the car.
So the backup is here, and the closest that I can see is it took from about 11 minutes for the backup unit to arrive. So this is incredibly important information. So that's 11-minute wait, which is a really long time if you're just standing there going back and forth with a person for the backup unit to arrive.
So you can either step out of the car or I can pull you out of the car. You can step out of the car or I'm pulling you out of the car.
She asked you. She asked you to get out of the car.
Get out of the car, bro.
I said it's not like I need you to get a dog, please.
No, we don't have to have a dog. It smells like brother. Get out.
In this car.
I'm gonna tell you one more time, Ken. Get out of the car.
I can't, ma'am.
You can't?
I'm recording this.
Okay, you can record.
Right now.
That's fine. I'm recording too. I recorded this whole interaction. Go and get out of my.
I'm not doing nothing wrong.
You were on the wrong side of the road, Kenny.
I was not on the wrong side
You
of the
were
road.
driving on the wrong side of the road, brother. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
I'm not. No, don't touch my car. No, you can't do that.
Get out of the car.
You can't do this, man. You can't do this. Get your hands off of me, man. Please get your hands off of me, please. Please. Get out of the car. I'm asking you to please. I'm not doing nothing wrong. Please, I'm not doing nothing wrong. Get out of the car. Please, can I get some help?
No.
Now.
Out of the car.
I'm not doing nothing wrong. Get out of the car. Why y'all doing this to me, man? Why are you doing this to me? Get out of the car, man. I'm not doing nothing wrong.
shots fired. I'm hit. 334 hit. Run! Help me twist this, please. Twist it really tight. Twist it again. Oh my god. Okay. Twist it again. Twist it as hard as you can, okay?
I got you.
That's good. Put it in the thing.
It's there.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah,
345. And I've got a turnkey plug. I'm signing all the way 44. So the suspect's going. That way. He went that way. I gotta go now. I don't need to hurt. Are you okay? Okay, go on the way. Give me my mark.